No, he would.
I would never.
He would always.
Just get it out your system. Me? I did
All right, so we are live, guys. We are Implicit Bias Radio is on the air live at Mr. Lester Steakhouse. We've got a crew here. And okay, so the first thing I've got to say is the one thing that I've always loved about Mr. Lester Steakhouse. It's always special, and they are always catering to exactly what you need, want, would like. In some way, shape, or form. It's almost like they've got Barbara Eden working here. I Dream of Jeannie. You ask for something, she kind of wrinkles her nose and it shows up, right? It is that way because tonight we are here and they're not open. We are at Mr. Lester Steakhouse when they are closed so that we can make sure that if you want to show up here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, when they normally are open, you can actually show up. And we've got some great announcements of some things that are going to be accessible here at Mr. Lester Steakhouse when we actually dive into the recording of the show. So, Renee, you are here with us. What are you thinking already?
Well, I mean, we're here so that way we don't interrupt you when you come here.
Correct.
You know,
I think that's what I was trying to say, but
yeah,
I said it the long way.
Yeah, you said too many words. That and Kavan's like demanding on stuff, so it takes up the staff to take care of him.
Oh, I'm so demanding.
Yeah.
I'm such a stickler for details.
It's almost like they don't have Barbara Eden here. They have ESPN here.
They can predict the future.
They can predict what you want. I mean, you just think about, oh, I would like a refill. And while you're thinking that, somebody's pouring water in your glass. And it's like, oh man, they're reading my mind here. It's
really
amazing.
is.
It really is an amazing place.
It is. And if you've had a chance to view our socials, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on X, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube, you had an opportunity to see, if you were on Facebook, my wife's post. I brought her here for Valentine's Day. All I'm going to say is this. You want to win on Valentine's Day? You want to post like that from your significant other. Because even as we made our way back down here, 5 days later, not business days, 5 days later, she looked at me again and said, thank you again for Valentine's Day. That's how good Mr. Lester's is. And that is how excited we are to be here tonight.
I have to ask, was that what she was really thanking you for?
Well, we're a family-oriented show, Caleb, and I like to brag. So, no, I'm kidding.
5 minutes in.
You just got to put it out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm behaving.
What you're trying to get Caleb's attention, Walker?
What you wanted me to drink water?
Here's another reason why, for those who are out there hopefully joining us via stream on Facebook, YouTube, Insta, X, one of the reasons why this is so special, we have our normal OG crew here for the show. We also have a special guest who's going to be here with us. I don't even know if you can see him on camera just yet. You'll see him soon enough. He is John Mode.
Stick your head in right
here.
Yeah. Between the two of us.
He is the president of the Dania Beach Bourbon Club. We'll give him a hearty cheers, bring him in just a few minutes because we're going to want him to talk about this maybe in the next segment. The other reason is we actually got Walker to wear something other than shorts, sweats, and slides. Walker Griffon is here. He's in a tux. He is dressed up for the Throw Me Something, Mr. episode of Implicit Bias. So as we get ready to start actually recording the radio side of this show and we dive into our weekly whiskey, which we'll show you in just a second, we want to give you the theme for this show. And as I said, it is Throw Me Something, Mr. But what has become overly apparent to us in the last, I don't know. Let's see. If I subtract February 19th from January 20th, is that a lot of people have gotten real accustomed to saying, hey, throw me something. I don't need to do anything for it. I just want whatever you're throwing that are the scraps off of your table. And I'm happy with it. I'm thrilled to have it. And as a matter of fact, it will keep me. I'm trying to think of a good word here. Would submissive be a correct word?
Sated?
Placent or
Complicit?
Complacent. Complacent's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Not well, in some instances, complicit
Yeah,
might
yeah.
work, but complacent maybe is the big one. We seem to have learned that a lot of us have been screaming, "Throw me something, mister," not just in southern Louisiana during Mardi Gras season. People have been screaming it from all around the globe for decades. To quote that great philosopher, that great philosophical work, The Sandlot, forever. It's like they have been screaming, "Throw me something, mister," forever. And we're going to dive into that topic in just a few minutes. Caleb?
I wonder if they've been screaming it, or have we been saying, "Hey, let me help you out. Let me do a little something for you." And I promise there's not a lot of strings attached.
So this is a great conversation for us to have off air. So for those who know that this is going to be part of the radio show, you'll enjoy this conversation, because this really, to me, is where the rubber meets the road. You know who the greatest marketers on the planet are? The greatest salespeople in the history of salespeople?
Politicians?
Nope.
No. Oh.
Well, close, but they're maybe second or third. Children, nah, not even in the ballpark. Drug dealers.
Ooh, valid.
Do you know why? Because what do?
Give you a taste, get you hooked.
They give it to you for free at first, and then when you come back, then they make you pay. So, Caleb, to your point, maybe people weren't screaming, "Throw me something, mister," to begin with, but once they got that taste, once they got that stack of cups or the big teddy bear off the float, now all of a sudden, they're foaming at the mouth for it. All of a sudden, they're willing to kick a small child in the head to take that bead with the actual emblem of the parade off of it.
Once you get your first Mardi Gras cup, you've got a cabinet full of them.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot, a lot of these countries, what happens is, they're struggling. They probably, just came through a revolution or whatever, and we backed a side that eventually took over. And so we help them out. And then they get used to that because that money is in their budget.
So wait a minute. So you're telling me that a country who can't make its way doesn't need money to fund democratic elections. They need money to fund transgender operas. That's going to help them go.
Well, that helps their society continue. I mean, there it goes. It's the circus that you were talking about. They're funding the circus.
And it's
part.
a circus.
Yeah.
And that's,
really?
And that's the point.
Yeah.
That's the exact point.
Well, I mean, it comes down to name one government that we have set up other than our own that has survived.
There is not a government in the history of mankind that has survived from the beginning of time to today. I mean, the Roman Empire went a solid 2,000 years.
Yeah,
if you
but
the empire.
I'm talking just the governments that the U.S. have backed.
Oh, yeah.
The U.S. We have gone through. Look at Vietnam, the Philippines, a lot of the African nations, the Central American nations.
Yeah. Here's the problem
None
with
of
that
them
too, though. Is we go in, and that's what a lot of the Green Berets do, right? They go in and they teach all this kind of stuff, and they teach people how to be insurrectionists. So
y'all tell me when we're ready.
When we set these governments up, when they no longer agree with us, we usurp the government that we set up.
Okay,
right.
Let's talk whiskey.
You'll have that lifespan in there, as long as you're useful.
Yeah.
Y'all ready to talk whiskey? Get some radio made.
Boom shakalaka.
Let's make some radio. What do you need? Tug needs a cigar. I think we've got a guy, Tug, who might be able to help you with a cigar. Renee, I'm going to ask, what are you going to give Aaron David?
I don't know. I'm going to give him a Florida Gerard. Just like we were talking earlier, the first one's free. I'll get you on the comeback.
There you go.
There's a wizard that can make it some tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Walker, whenever he's ready, if we're streaming, we're hoping you're out there. We're going to give some stuff away on this show. We've actually got another dinner for two hotel stay. That's going to happen later on the show. So stick around. We'll tell you how you're going to get that or how you could get that. We'll figure it out because I don't even know that I've got a full plan for it yet. But we'll get there on this week's episode of Implicit Bias. You tell me, Walker.
3, 2.
Implicit Bias Radio back on the air. I'm your host, Kavan Bordelon. And yes, it is another fantastic, fantabulous Rat Pack Returns episode to Mr. Lester Steakhouse down at Cypress Bayou Casino. Throw me something, mister, because we are all in our Mardi Gras ball attire, which means that I made sure we didn't get in trouble. So I only mandated this attire for the guys. I didn't tell the ladies what they had to wear or any type of dress for them. I just let them show up however they like, and we will carry the load. As I said, I'm your host, Kavan Bordelon. Let me introduce you to the crew here in Mr. Lester Steakhouse, the Cigar Lounge specifically. Sitting to my left, a chair all to his own, much as everybody else has here tonight. He is the rustic renegade, Caleb Morse. Caleb,
I was like, wait, is my wife joining me? I'm not sure. Not sure what's happening.
It's one of those things that when you say it, you go,
Yeah.
let me think about that for a millisecond, process it, and realize that everybody's got their own chair here tonight. Nobody's actually at the bar. So, Caleb, you were next to me. It's great to have you back. I love the brandy snifter and cigar socks.
Yes.
Couldn't find bourbon and cigar socks.
I couldn't. And
I
you know,
figured you
look,
looked.
and when I'm in a bind, I'll use a snifter.
There you go.
It's a fancy Glencairn.
It is. It's a big Glencairn, which
Yeah.
we all know how Caleb likes to pour whiskey. A small pour for Caleb is that much in the glass.
I look
So,
vertically, right? So I see the top and the bottom at the same time.
Yep. All right. Across the table from us here in the Cigar Lounge, we're going to start with the man who's got the microphone. He is Louisiana's only certified master tobacconist and the man who provides the stogies here at Mr. Lester Steakhouse. By the way, the only restaurant in Louisiana where you can smoke a cigar in the restaurant. He is Rene Girard.
That's a 2-finger pour for Caleb.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is a 2-finger pour for Caleb. You've got some Florida Girards here. You've got some other special stuff here tonight.
Yeah, and I brought the cigar in a month, so later on we can try it with a flight maybe.
So is this a new cigar of the month, or are we still
No,
on
it's
the
just the Perdomo 30.
Perdomo 30?
Sun grown.
Okay.
Yep. I brought you a short one because I
appreciate
that.
Yeah. I was gonna ask because
I brought a
Rene,
Robusto for you because I know you don't do cigars that often.
and I actually said I want to come see you on Valentine's Day, and we just got behind the eight ball. I didn't make it over.
No, you got too busy anticipating coming over here with Mrs. Implicit Bias for the meal and everything else. You just totally forgot about me. That was it.
I love the way he loops that in, the meal and everything else. It's
Yeah,
Valentine's Day, right?
The everything else part is what you were looking for.
Okay, so we're gonna hear from Walker. So Tug, can we actually see Walker on camera, or is he? Oh, he's not. So Walker's the voice from the ether here this evening.
Hello.
Walker, you have your own radio show, brother.
Well, I do, but
Right, and you should know that this is one of those things where you can't just say hello and turn it off.
I mean, you can even.
I mean,
you could like do a different voice. Hello, I'm Walker Griffel.
yeah,
Like,
this is not like The Hangover where the guy's looking at him and going, "Tell them I said hello, hello, no, hello, no, hello." No, just you got to say more than that.
hello. How is everybody's day?
Yeah,
How
there
is
we go.
everybody's week going?
Walker, we don't care about you. Anyway, no, Walker, we're glad to have you here. It's nice to see you dressed up.
Glad to be here.
It's nice to see Grape Ape in the corner looking all fancy with the tuxedo. So I love it.
Well, I appreciate it.
All right. By the way, where's the pin?
It's in the right over there.
And he didn't put it on. Are you serious? You didn't put on the pledge pin?
Well, I didn't want to ruin the tux.
You have anyway. All right. Let's go to Grant Galatas of William S. Nacall Jewelers. He is K&B from Kennebra.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey, it looked good. I like the way he did that. It looked good. Absolutely fantastic to be back.
Yeah. You know why it looked good? We
Go ahead.
can't see him. We can see you.
There you go. Thank you very much. Always great to be back here. But look, before we get started, thank you to these guys for letting us do this, especially when they're closed. I mean, they walk around, they pretend like they're happy about coming here to pamper ourselves this evening. So it's always great to be back here. Just a wonderful setup.
It is an absolutely fantastic location. And we are going to dive into our weekly whiskey for this week. I actually came across this bottle at a little place in Texas.
that's not a surprise, actually. When you
What-
know about the bottle, that's not a surprise.
It's not a surprise
Yeah.
when you know about the bottle, when I tell you what it is. It was one of those that was kind of given to me and said, hey, look, if you want to buy some other stuff in here, you might want to grab this one. So I walked out with about 4 bottles, a couple of mixers. The wife found some stuff she wanted to utilize with Prosecco in the house. And I walked out with a bottle that actually went in the collection. So I have now a second of a Weller 107 to drink at a very reasonable price from Deb's Liquors outside of Beaumont. So
I was going to ask, it was East
Tom,
Texas.
thank you. Yep. East Texas, right outside of Beaumont. Tom, we appreciate you. Tom Messina, actually out of New Orleans, is the guy who runs it, owns it. Yes. So the Messina family, Grant, you know the Messinas very well.
Little restaurant right off I-10, just off of Williams Boulevard. Oh my
Same
goodness.
family. Yep.
Wow. Still
Same
there?
family. I don't know if that restaurant's still there,
Oh
but
my
I do know
goodness.
that it's the same family.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's dive into our weekly whiskey, and it is this. It's one that I don't get along with this distillery quite well. I really don't. Me and Old Forester, just for some reason, my taste buds don't align with what they're putting out. But we decided to give this a shot. It is the Old Forester proprietary King Ranch blend. Comes in at 105 proof, so 52.5% alcohol by volume. And we'll talk about the price point when we get to play the What Would You Pay Championship Belt Chain presented by Box Drop of Lafayette. So, Renee, I want to start with you because you gave me some thoughts on this. You gave actually everyone some thoughts on this. No one asked your opinion, and everybody knows it anyway. So I'm curious as to what you think about this, because we are going to ask your opinion now.
I freely give my opinion every time I get a chance. Not one of my favorites. It just, I'm getting some off flavors, and I don't have the palate like Caleb has, where you can just come out with all these descriptive terms and all. Either I like it or I don't. This ain't one of the ones that I
Okay,
don't.
so I'm
And
going to
it's
ask, what do you not like about it?
It's like I said, I'm getting some off flavors that I can't really pinpoint what it is. I picked up a little bit of mint. We were talking about mint earlier, but I don't know. It's not one of my favorite. We've had some fantastic whiskeys on this show. I don't think this is one of them.
Okay. And look, this is not to throw shade on Debs. This is
No.
just something that
Oh no,
Old Forester has put
they
out
they
in conjunction with King Ranch.
Yeah, they sell stuff. They didn't make it.
Okay.
And this blend, I'm just not a fan of.
All right. So Walker, I'm curious to hear from you, even though we can't see you. I'm curious as to what you think about this one, because I know your flavor profile a little bit. I know Renee's pretty well. I'm actually kind of shocked that Renee doesn't like this a whole bunch. I'm going to bet that you kind of like this.
Yeah, I disagree with Renee wholeheartedly. I like this one a lot. I get a cherry, kind of sweet.
Okay.
And it I don't know what the proof is, but it does not drink heavy whatsoever.
So
no burn.
So this is how you know Walker's paying attention to the show. I already said it comes in at 105 proof, 52.5% alcohol by volume, and he was not listening. It's okay. It's okay.
Well, it doesn't drink like that whatsoever.
I agree with you
enjoy
100%.
I enjoy this.
Okay. So Walker is a thumbs up. Renee is a Panametsarkensis thumbs down. Grant, what about you?
I'm gonna agree with Walker on this one. I mean, it's a pleasant little taste. You said it when you first tasted it. It doesn't taste like a 105, so it doesn't hit you quite like a 105. But it's not a bad little combination of flavors. Getting a little bit of chocolatey, kind of light oaky. I'm not picking up the cherry so much, but there is some kind of sweet in there that I can't put my finger on. But I'm not offended by this one. This one's a pleasant little drink.
So before we go to the Rustic Renegade, who's the implicit bias bloodhound, because he's going to come back and say, this reminds me of something that I had when I was 28 3/4 years old. Happened to be on the western side of anyway. As Renee mentioned, we were talking about mint. I get a ton of mint off of almost everything Old Forester distills. Even their birthday bourbon, I still get a ton of mint. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. It's just something in their recipe. I don't get it with this, and I love this. I really, really like this. And I know we all just heard the chime. Somebody got a text or something like that. It's okay. It happens. Maybe we're getting messaging
Oh,
through
we
the
lost
live
you.
stream. It is
Oh.
absolutely fantastic when I think about this particular Old Forester, because number one, I agree, Grant, with you. I agree with Walker. This drinks like an 80 proof. And there are others that I've had where I'm like, I don't know if it drinks quite that easy. When we say, oh, it doesn't drink like a 107 or a 110, this drinks really soft.
Yeah, I mean, this one, the proof is not there.
No, the proof is there. It just doesn't come out.
Yeah, it doesn't come out. I'm not getting the strength out of it. It's just something about the flavoring that I'm not getting a lot of flavor. I like flavor, but not the alcohol. And with this lower proof, I mean, it drinks like a lower proof whiskey.
So I'm going to agree
But-
with you that I don't get a ton of flavor. It's
Right.
not a full flavored
Right.
whiskey. It's
Yeah.
not
And
that.
that might be what's putting me off. I've gotten so used to, I mean, you've corrupted me to where now I expect flavors out of my whiskey, and this doesn't have it, even though it's a 105.
So Renee, just so you know, and then I'm going to finish my description. You're not the first person I've corrupted.
Yeah.
Anyway, the drink on this, I find a little thin. I find a little light. However, I get that sweetness on the back end. It sits soft on the palate. I could absolutely sit here and drink this all night. And that's maybe a problem. At 105 proof, I could put this one away easy peasy and just keep going. It's got that little bit of sweetness. I don't get a ton of caramel. I don't get the big full flavors that we're used to with the rye that we drink. I don't get the aggression that we like. But this is one that when my wife comes over here, you guys are going to be lucky if you get the rest of that bottle, because she's going to love this. And she's my wife, so she comes before everyone here. Caleb. Well, for me, right? And I know for Caleb's gonna be like, no, my wife comes first, and she should for you.
In the words of old Bill Shakespeare, alas, poor old Forester, I knew him well. So on this one, it's beautiful. When you look at the presentation, the bottle, everything else, it is gorgeous. The color on this, it's dark, it's deep, but yet it's still clear. It has good light transmission. I like it. The labeling looks great. I love the way they did it. They didn't go overly gaudy with King Ranch on it. They have the brand on there. It looks great. I think that if you own an F-150 King Ranch, you should get this free with purchase of your truck. Then on the nose, I get those hard cherry candies, and they came in like a little paper wrapper with powdered sugar on the outside of them.
When you were 7.5 years
I
old,
was very young,
sitting in your uncle's home, not
my uncle.
Not your aunt's house, your uncle's house.
It probably would have been my aunt's house, actually, the English teacher.
Oh Lord!
It's a little wax paper wrapper, and it had like powdered sugar on the outside with these hard cherry candies. That's the smell. And I get vanilla Coke on the nose.
I do get I get like cherry Coke. I get the cherry on the nose.
See,
I do. I didn't want to steal it because I knew you'd said it. I do get it.
I get the cherry, and then very distinctly, I get like a vanilla Coke. And then on the palate, man, it comes at you. It's soft. It's gentle. It's fleeting. You kind of lose it. It comes at you, and it's like, oh, wait, come back. So it's a little fleeting. And then I get the cherry again, a little bit heavier, but it's like the end of the candy, right? So after you've had it for a little while and you're like, okay, I'll have another one. Then I get a little bit of mint and banana, like a little bit of hint of mint. I get that twang, a little bit of banana. And then it goes into, if you smoke meats like a brisket or anything else with mesquite, you get that acidic kind of flavor. And I get the finish of heavy mesquite. Which Kingsford, the charcoal they use is King Ranch mesquite charcoal, right? So it's going to have that hint of acid at the end of it. And that to me is a very, very noticeable finish on this.
I do get that hint of acid, which brightens it up. And maybe that's why it's such a light flavor, because the acid creates brightness on the palate. And that might be what we're getting. And I kind of prefer some of those deep, dark flavors, but it's not bad. I like it. It's very different from what we normally like on the show.
This, in my opinion, this is one of the best Old Foresters I've had.
I would agree with you.
I would probably seek this out before I do birthday.
I would agree with you.
You know, we've had a few birthdays, and this one to me, like, I prefer the flavor profile on this. it's probably way more affordable.
Oh, I guarantee you it's way more affordable.
So-
Well, it's much easier to find than birthday because we all know
If
birthday is like unobtainium of the unobtainium.
If it's a 10th of birthday, it's worth it.
Well, so birthday retail,
It's all over the place.
birthday
Yeah.
retail is not what you think it
No,
is.
no. And birthday secondary market, you'll find
That's where it gets
1,500
outstanding.
plus.
That's
you
where it
know.
gets ridiculous.
And this one, I really enjoy the flavor profile on this. Like, and I would buy this for anyone who owns a King Ranch, just to, like a King Ranch truck, just to
I
have
agree
it.
with you.
Because
Okay.
I have a buddy who's got the King Ranch bag and all this other stuff. This would be a great little, attaché, we'll call it, I guess. I don't know, something to go along with it. It would be wonderful for his King Ranch experience.
Okay, so let's do this. We're going to start going around the horn because we need to rate this on the Morse Whiskey rating code. A red, I wouldn't drink it even if it was free. A yellow, I would only drink it if it was free. A green, I would buy this. A blue, I would seek this out. And we're going to play What Would You Pay for the What Would You Pay Championship Belt Chain presented by Box Drop of Lafayette, which means you're going to say what you think the liquid in the bottle is worth, and wherever it comes back at, whoever's closest gets to wear the belt chain. Walker, come on, ring the belt chain. Nobody can see you, so nobody cares to look at you, but we want to hear you. Yes, that is the belt chain. Thank you, Walker. Appreciate it. All right, so Renee, we'll start with you because you had a comment, and then go ahead, rate it, and tell us what you think. we're looking
Okay.
at.
Well, what you need to do now is go find this whiskey, listen to Caleb's description of it, and all of those flavors. As he was talking about it, I'm like, yeah, I tasted that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I tasted it. I mean,
He's good.
he
I hate to give
nails
him
it.
credit, but he
nails it. I mean, all of these things he was talking about, it's like, okay, yeah. So if you're unsure, when you listen to you buy the whiskey that we're talking about, and then just go listen to Caleb's description of it.
Okay, so
This
where do
one,
you rate it?
I'm gonna give it a yellow.
Okay.
I'd drink it. It's a good whiskey. It's just not, I just don't get a lot out of it. Like I said, you corrupted me. I'm gonna put it at about 95. And I do like the birthday whiskey, especially a couple of years ago when
It's birthday bourbon,
yeah,
not birthday whiskey.
birthday bourbon. And when John had brought us one for our birthday a couple of
Correct.
years ago, that was an awesome Old Forester.
Okay. Walker, I'm curious as to where you rate this and what would you pay?
I'm gonna give it a blue.
Oh, high praise. A blue. Okay.
110.
110. Wait,
Did
Y'all.
you fall down the stairs?
y'all,
Are you
Walker.
feeling okay? I've never
Hold
heard
on.
you say over
that-
100
I
bucks.
know. Walker, remember, Walker
I'm
is
all right.
almost as
Okay.
Walker is almost as tight as Sam, rest in peace, was. For those who don't know, we love Sam Stokes. He's not actually dead. He's just dead to the show because he left. And it's okay. We wish him the best. But Sam, rest in peace, is no longer with us. So we always try to do that. So a blue from the cheap member of the show. And no, I love it. And 110.
Look, I
I'm in.
I made a note next to your initials that said Christmas.
I'm in. All right, Grant.
I'm gonna give this a teal green.
A teal green. Nope. You can't. Nope.
Okay.
This
I'm-
this is
I'm-
like
okay
the
then.
Sesame Street things. They go
know.
nope.
I thought I'd try and slide that in there.
Nope.
It's a green with a tinge of blue. No, I'm gonna give it a green. Like you
Okay.
said, you summed it up best. I mean, it's a pleasant. You can sit there and drink this one all evening.
All right. So
I'm not gonna go as high as you guys. I'm gonna say like 79.
79. Okay, Caleb.
Oh, I forgot to put my initials on here. I already gave it a green. In my opinion, this is
It is
this
a green.
solid
It's a 3. I'm a green on this. Absolutely. It is absolutely drinkable. I would buy it. Seek it out. It doesn't quite fit the real stuff that we love.
And look,
But it's
knowing-
good.
And knowing King's Ranch the way I do, which is not really well, this has got to be a C note. It's $100.
So you're saying $100.
Yeah.
So we have a 75, 79 from Grant.
Yeah, 79.
We have a 95 from
Renee.
Renee. We have a 110 from Walker. We have $100. The winner of the What Would You Pay Championship Belt Chain for this green whiskey, a absolute buy from the crew of Implicit Bias, is $99.99.
What?
Caleb hit it almost to the penny. He is the winner of the What Would You Pay Championship Belt Chain presented by Box Drop. If you can find it, grab it. It's obviously a winner. It's a great taste. It is my favorite Old Forester, and it's not close. It also means that we got to take a break. Come back, and we're going to dive into solving the problems of the world. We're going to get some food in our pie holes from Mr. Lester Steakhouse on Implicit Bias Radio right after this. I don't know that there's an age statement.
It'll be a blend.
So I owe someone an apology. When I hit the table earlier, my cigar fell. It didn't burn,
Well, if it didn't burn, it's fine.
but I'll own that. It was my mistake.
You asshole.
Oh, that was nice. That was nice.
Sorry about that.
It's complex, but there's no depth.
Agreed.
And yeah, it's very shallow.
That's a great call. It's
Yeah.
complex with no depth.
It's a swamp.
Hey,
There's a lot
baby.
going on, but it's not very deep.
Yeah,
Elizabeth.
it's a lot going on, but it's not very. I like
It's
that.
it's good. Like
I truly will probably seek this out and buy it just for Katie because my wife would love it.
Can you do me a favor, John? Can you pour a little bit in here for my wife to try?
For you, Caleb.
I made the mistake of drinking everything in my glass.
So, John, we're going to bring you in the final segment of
Thank
hour
you,
one,
sir.
which will be not this segment, but the one after. Dude, we're thrilled to have you. Oh no, we got to have the. I'm convinced that your new nickname is the Juggernaut. I just like it.
I'm really impressed by this one. Like, of all the Old Foresters, this one it really is probably my favorite. I think it's the 1910.
I told you,
was the one I went
right?
to.
That's her
I
wheelhouse.
enjoyed the Statesman because they get kind of gimmicky, but I'm impressed.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Not
Ooh.
enough.
You want me to just give it to
I
her?
Yes,
do find
please.
that it
Yes,
has
please.
flavor.
Yeah, I'm not
But-
putting enough flavor.
Isn't
Well,
it-
it's
isn't
there,
Old
but
Forester
it's-
still along
you
the
have to
lines
search
of Jack
for it.
Daniels and,
No,
and
no,
Jim
no.
Beam and
Oh,
all that
no,
stuff? Or is that
Yeah.
Old Forester
I want-
makes some high-end
I know,
stuff.
but don't they make the traditional black label?
Everybody
like,
does.
Okay.
Everybody. I
Yeah.
mean, Buffalo Trace is Buffalo
Renee.
Trace's garbage.
Did you hear what he said? Renee went to the hospital again Friday.
Dude.
No, I drank it. I finished. That's for you to try, baby.
It took me about 4 hours. It was getting ready
That
to
is the
go.
King Ranch
Hold on.
edition, Old Forester.
What do you drink?
Okay. If you would.
Old-fashioned.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Old Forester is
He may
typically-
need to put the
That-
I
keys
mean,
in to
it's
get us
impressive.
live.
I enjoy that one.
Oh, you
It's
taste it?
this one's really good. I enjoy it. It's a Texas one, so it's hard to find
They
elsewhere.
had me padded up. They were getting ready to cardio work me. They put me under. As soon as I went under, my heart went back to normal.
Oh.
You had to relax. That's what it was.
I'm just disappointed because I've
Stressed
always
out.
wanted to hit somebody with the paddles. There's two things that are on my
Hold
bucket
on.
list.
You mean
I
you've
wanna
never
hit
hit somebody with a paddle?
I want
No, they don't do it that
no,
way.
I said the paddles,
Oh,
not
oh,
a
okay.
paddle.
Okay.
They don't do
If
that
I
that
pass
way.
you this, you can pour me
They put
some.
They
Yeah,
put it past the front and the back.
I'm coming.
They don't-
Yeah.
they don't do
It's
it that
it's
way.
now they stick it to
They
you.
stick it to you and they got a button.
It's a machine.
I don't
that
care. I
all
just
of
want to
it-
hit the button. There's two things that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to hit some clear. I've always wanted to yell that and hit somebody with the paddles. The other thing I've always wanted to do is hit somebody with an EpiPen.
Have you?
If
Oof.
you
An
go
EpiPen.
to Insta, you should have that ability.
EpiPen or Antropine? Which one would be more?
Hold
fun?
on.
Entropine is the one.
Antropine.
Ooh,
Antropine is straight
There's
adrenaline.
instructions on
Yeah.
how to do it.
Antropine's-
A leg or something like
That
that.
would be.
You know what? I'm not worried about it. We'll settle it later.
There was
Instagram will be fine.
a guy that I served with when I was at PFC. He was the E7. And
Oh,
he
wait,
he got
wait,
caught
Grant.
doing Antropine before PT tests.
Please, if
He
you
would
don't
take
mind,
it, crack open the Antropine injector,
you can pour for me,
and
brother.
then I don't know how
trust
he
you.
did it. I don't
That's
need
how
to
much
know.
I trust you.
And he would do Antropine.
I won't
before
let him
PT
pour.
test.
I'll let you pour.
He was
Cool.
kicking it, bro.
Perfect.
Like
Thank you.
he was
Maybe I
running.
don't
He
trust
was
you.
running like a
It's all right. You're good.
at 40 something years old. He was doing like a 1332 mile. He got forced into retirement.
He was,
Oh, he was an
politely-
fine.
He was respectfully and politely asked.
He was
to
an
leave.
older guy.
That's yeah. So he was the CBRN NCOIC, chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear NCOIC at the time. And for those of y'all that can hear this, like this is a legit real story.
Oh Lord,
Um,
be careful.
no, that's fine. Like
You sure?
statute of limitations are up on this gentleman.
All right.
Yeah, they're all-
But he was doing
all
Antropine,
I
which is
thought
straight adrenaline.
we were going to talk about rubber gloves and
No.
blue water people trying to wash things off.
No. This was he was doing Antropine before PT test, which is like straight adrenaline. And man, like when I met him, I'm not going to say his name, but when I met him, he was the CBRN NCOIC, and like he found out that CS gas didn't bother him a whole bunch, and then he found out how much it took to bother me, which bothered me. And I thought he was a great guy, but he just did a little Antropine in the spare time. So
I mean,
it's something you learn. I've never done it, never want to do it. Do not recommend that to anyone. That's if they give you Antropine. So if a chemical or biological, radioactive, or nuclear event happens, to give you about 5 minutes longer to live to fight for the government, right? You're not going to survive. You're just going to die pumped. and they give you this to inject yourself with
And
it.
he was taking it for the heck of it.
He was taking it for a PT test.
That is terrible. I don't even. Where would someone even get something like that? I wouldn't even.
It was issued to him.
Somebody just missed the point.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised what gets issued.
Where would you even go to get something like that? I mean, Caleb. So where? I mean, I would. That's terrible. Is this available to civilians? I would hate to hear that. He's now picking it up. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I got it. I got it when you said it.
Walgreens.
Come on.
You go to Walgreens.
What bourbon are we drinking next?
So we're going to pull something from behind the bar. From
Yeah,
Mr.
she-
Lester's.
She just wants to-
I tell you what, surprise us.
You know, while you're telling her that, is there a reason why the bottle's so far away from me now?
Yes, there
Yes.
is. No,
Yeah.
no.
Like
No, it's fine. He can
John,
have more.
John poured
He
a little
just
bit
can't do
from
that
my wife. I
Let's
can't pour
do,
myself, is what it is.
Let's do the Heaven Hill. Any of those? If you want to do Flights of the Heaven Hills, we can do those.
Well,
Okay,
wait,
so for those-
y'all ready for the cigar though? We
Well,
got to do the cigar
We're,
with
we're,
it.
we're gonna do the cigar in hour 2. So we've
Okay.
got 2 more segments, and then we'll do that.
If you want to pour me an appropriate
Because
amount.
I think a cigar would go with the Heaven Hill.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I will
so
not tell you when to
Do
stop.
another
we've got
bourbon.
2 more segments before we'll do that, and then we've also
Thank
got
you.
food coming in. If you can let Chef know
There's
that
that
we're
pretty
ready
coloring.
for food, we'll start there. Thank you very much. So if you are watching on stream, this is what happens in between almost all television, radio, during breaks. And now if you're actually in live radio, it's got to happen a lot faster.
Yeah.
Because you are on their clock, literally their clock. So if you've got 2 minutes between segments, you've got 2 minutes. We are fortunate because we pre-record, because I don't trust anyone in here to have a live microphone and whiskey at the same time.
Hold on. We've done, we did well for a while.
We did.
And
We did 1 hour shows. Not
We
2
can
hours.
contain ourselves, but it does get squirrely.
Well, look,
That's when it gets
while,
fun.
While we're on a break, and my buddy's probably watching, I'm gonna give a shout out
Yeah,
to
go
my
ahead.
buddy Jason Robnett, who's my Christoph rep, and I'm smoking one of my favorite cigars he does, the Christoph Tres Compadres, and we got an event that we're going to be doing on April 5th.
Okay.
We start March 1st. We're
Renee,
doing a deal.
Is that like the Three Amigos?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. They wanted to. He wanted to name it that, but they wouldn't let. He didn't because
Well, the copyright laws.
yeah.
Yeah.
so But we're doing an event on starting March 1st. You buy 3 Christoph cigars, you get an entry. We're giving away a 55-inch Vizio TV on April the 5th when
Ooh.
Robnet's going to be there.
Very good.
And so we're going to have just a day of hanging out, smoking cigars and all
That's
that. But the whole
cool.
month of March, you can enter to win the TV.
Well, he's
So-
watching.
John's
Yes.
upset. John's like, I can't be
He,
here the
uh,
whole month of March.
He commented, and I was like, "Who is this jackwagon?"
Yeah, that's, no,
'Cause he
he's not-
said something.
well,
he said something
somewhat.
about you.
You know,
giving your
and one
opinion.
of the things I got to tell him is high tide. He's an
Oh,
Auburn.
he
He's
is.
an Auburn fan
He's-
and
but
hates
he's from
the.
Alabama.
Yeah, he hates
So
it.
we
no,
had
no,
something.
no. You never saw the commercial? High tide.
So he hates Alabama.
Right. He's an Auburn guy.
He and I share something in common.
Oh, he's
Just
oh,
saying.
every time I tell him things about, Alabama is all messed up because you got a school in Tuscaloosa that's got a red elephant and they yell roll tide.
And they are nowhere close to the coast.
Right. And then you have another school in Auburn who are the Tigers and they keep yelling War Eagle.
Because
That state is all confused.
and they don't have a tiger. They actually have an eagle.
yeah.
And it's one of the look, to give Auburn credit, one of the coolest traditions in college football is with 100,000 people in a stadium. They let an eagle go.
Yeah.
It flies around the stadium and comes back to its trainer. It is awesome to watch and behold. And they call themselves the Auburn Tigers.
yeah,
So-
where's the damn tiger?
Well, they call people
Just
that
to
do
go
that.
6 and 6.
They call people that do that falconers, right? So would they be eaglers?
Yes,
They
I
might.
guess.
I don't know.
I guess.
Like that's a thing. I don't know this answer. So like I know a
So
falconer.
respond to the Facebook post.
Yeah,
and
if
Caleb
someone
will
knows
see
that,
it.
please let
Yes.
me know if they're called an eagler. Like, do they transfer over from a falconer to a hawker to an eagler?
Yeah, it's like a promotion thing.
Well, so
you got to work through
Yeah.
the ranks.
The practice is called falconry,
Right.
which makes you wonder, is it now called eaglery if you're using an eagle, or hawkery if you're using a hawk.
See, these are questions that I need answered.
Yes. No, Caleb, cheers to you, sir.
Love
That's inquiring minds want to know.
Things that make you go,
All right. We ready to do another segment? As Walker destroys a microphone over there.
Tug, is that like a?
Sure, it's broke. I
see
wonder
the-
who broke
I
it.
see the screen. You have like an awesome computer over there right now or something?
Dude, he's got full-on Alienware desktop.
you know what?
Oh, you can just you can
And you
set
made-
him down. We'll deal with him later.
And Kavan, you made Walker wear a tuxedo and he's not even on camera.
Forbidden?
Well, look, he looks
Sure,
nice.
why not?
Oh, he does look
And look,
nice.
I'll
I'm
let
not gonna
Kennedy
stop
but
you,
know.
Buddy,
I
so-
know he would have been a lot more
Couldn't if I
comfortable with
tried.
his shorts, his
True.
t-shirt, and his slides.
I sniffed him. He smells nice. Like, I'm happy for you.
Let's
you.
let's do some radio. We got to break this up. Yeah.
Ready? 3, 2.
Implicit Bias Radio back on the air. Throw me something, mister. I'm your host, Kavan Bordelon, as we dive into solving the problems of the world. Normally, we say one weekly whiskey at a time. But when we're at Mr. Lester's, it's more like 10 weekly whiskeys at a time or 6 weekly whiskeys at a time. Essentially, what we're here to do is discuss all of the things you're not supposed to discuss in polite conversation, religion, politics, all that stuff. We're going to do it on air. We're going to do it on the radio, and we're going to do it while we partake.
I want to hug you right now. Like, that's what I tell people about our show is the things that everyone else is afraid to discuss, we tackle them head on.
I'm just glad that you are far enough away that you can't hug. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Trapped.
Yeah,
I'm trapped.
it's okay. Oh, and we've got food coming out as we get into our menu here at Mr. Lester's. So if you're watching on the streaming side, you can see this. I'm going to let him start passing it around as we get into our wild bourbon mushroom and brie soup. We'll taste that. We'll tell you what we think about that. But we have to dive into this topic because, man, when I tell you there is panic in Washington, D.C. right now, the panic is palpable. And believe it or not, the panic is measurable. So if anybody out there works in a large corporate setting, the theme that pretty much everyone says is, well, how do you know? How can you measure that? Because if it's not a data point, it's nothing. Well, if we have anything on the panic in Washington, D.C. today, we have measurement on the panic because we have data points on it. I sent this out to the crew. I am sure that most of you looked at this. I guarantee Walker looked at none of it. So Walker, I'm going to ask, okay, and I have to clarify because we actually have two Walkers here at Mr. Lester Steakhouse. We have the original Walker, whose name is not Walker. Then we have Walker, whose name is Walker, who is not Walker, that we have renamed Saunter. He is here helping us. Yes, he is there. I don't know if you can see him. I hope you can. If not, no big deal. That's not to brush him aside, but it is what it is. So Walker, the original Walker, if I had to ask you to guess, what is the number one search on Google in Washington, D.C. right now? Would you know what it is?
Donald Trump.
Wrong. And actually, we have to say that correctly. We have to lean in and say, wrong. No, it is not Donald Trump.
I don't know. I have no clue.
Almost had water come out of my nose.
Oh, wait. Oh, that was actually funny.
It was got you.
Wait, somebody said, oh my goodness, somebody actually thinks I'm funny. That never happens. Anyway.
It's more than your wife that laughs.
And she laughs frequently. That's all I can say. If we can't make fun of ourselves, we can make fun of everybody else. Anyway,
Valid.
so it's not Walker, Donald Trump. The crew, anybody here actually see what those searches were? This actually started with not necessarily a search, but a listing in Washington, D.C. Anybody see what the listing was, what it was about? It was real estate. So when USAID went, as Austin Powers would say, teats up, when it rolled over, the Washington, D.C. housing market, the availability of inventory, in other words, houses on the market jumped. Caleb, how far? Do you remember?
Was it like 180%.
No, it wasn't quite that bad.
It was
It was a 50% jump.
That's what it was. Well, and then so inventory went up and prices dropped
Well,
considerably
It's
because of the
it's
amount of inventory.
supply and demand, right? The supply, as Renee's about to knock over a glass of water here in Mr. Lester Steakhouse. I'm impressed. That's agile. That is agility, right in the corner. But literally, the supply went up so quickly and so greatly that prices immediately dropped by like 20%.
Yep.
So, first of all, when the funds to USAID dried up, all of a sudden, everybody in Washington, D.C. needs to sell their house.
I can't afford to live here anymore when I don't get free government money.
No, they're all. I'm out. I'm gone before I get caught and arrested.
Well, and then when
So
you saw
the-
defense attorney was up there.
Don't spoil it yet.
So, but what that
Redacted.
means is go to DC and buy houses now because they're cheap.
Oh, no,
Cheaper.
just wait.
Well, cheaper.
What I'm telling you is just wait. They're about to get a lot cheaper. And this is why we have to jump into what Caleb was talking about, which is, so what was the number one search on Google in Washington, D.C. almost immediately after the housing market?
Defense attorneys.
Correct.
And then there was money wiring. And then there was what was the other one? There's a third
Rico.
or fourth one.
Rico.
was
Yeah,
in
they
there.
were looking up Rico. That
So-
was my favorite entry.
So here's the really interesting part.
Thank you.
Help me understand why. And we're always about the why here on Implicit Bias, not just the what. We know what people are searching in Washington, D.C. They are searching RICO, racketeering influenced corrupt organization,
Mhm.
and how people get sent to prison for RICO charges. They were searching defense attorney. What was the other one, Caleb? RICO defense attorney.
Money wiring, like wiring money.
Yeah, money wiring, money
Yep.
laundering, statute of limitations, I think
Yep,
was
that
on
was
there.
on
Is
there.
that what
That
you were
was
just
on there,
saying,
yeah.
Grant?
Offshore banks,
Offshore banks,
criminal defense lawyers.
criminal
Yep.
defense lawyers, and then the big one, which came out like 24 hours before we recorded this show. Y'all ready for this one? Because I'm going to make people gasp with this one. And this is one that I hope they don't actually research too much. Suicide.
Mm. Mm.
The number one
That's
search
disheartening. That really is.
24 to 48 hours before we recorded this episode of Implicit Bias or are streaming from Mr. Lester Steakhouse is suicide in Washington, D.C.
That is very disheartening.
Well-
Don't take that step.
No, I mean there's like what you're saying. It's a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Yep.
But there's a lot of shenanigans that's going on, and it's being exposed, and all of these people are feeling the pressure, and they don't know what to do.
Well,
Because for so many years, I mean, we're talking, this stuff has been going on for probably 60, 70 years. It keeps going bigger and bigger and bigger, and now it's all being exposed.
Well, and all these searches tell us that fear is in the air.
Oh
right?
yeah,
Panic in
Panic.
D.C.
Yeah.
more panic than fear.
People are starting to be very concerned because no one wants their dirty laundry aired,
No,
right? They don't want the shame
well,
associated with everything else.
especially a lot of these people that they're all the cream of the crop, the upper crust,
Well,
and now they're exposed as
How about this one?
And that's the problem: is people view politicians as something beyond people.
right.
They're not.
How about
They're
this one?
us elected.
Yeah,
No one wants their dirty laundry aired, especially if it's criminal. Especially if you know you have broken the law. And here's where, and this is what I love. This is why I love the panic. Because if I'm a prosecutor and I want to prove intent, I want to prove that people know they broke the law, kept doing it. It's people who went and searched criminal defense attorney.
Yeah.
It's people who went and searched RICO after they knew they were going to be exposed.
That is bell-worthy.
And,
That's,
and look, just
Ring
like,
my bell. Ring
look,
my... All right.
just like your old tweets. I mean, your searches can come into play in your prosecution.
How do you think they nail a bunch of murderers in a lot of court cases. You know how they do it? They go look at their search history.
Yeah, but look, if you're searching suicide, it speaks volumes to the depth of your involvement.
Yeah,
basically.
So
that you've gone so far beyond that's your only way out. Because you are because evidence lays everywhere.
Ring the bell, because that's a not only does it speak to the fact that you knew what you did was criminal, it speaks to the fact when they start searching suicide about how bad it actually is. This is Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart. That's what this is today in practice that we are watching. We are watching The Telltale Heart in Washington, D.C. as politicians, people who live there, parasites on the ass of the American people who are sitting in Washington, D.C. because they have been sucking off of the public teat for so long, and they know they've broken the law. They know that they are searching for suicide, RICO. They're trying to sell their houses. They're searching for criminal defense attorneys. They're trying to wire money. They know.
Have we reached the threshold now to where you realize that when they're pulling up your tweets from when you were in high school, are we starting to realize that you might want to think it up here, but look, just stop putting it on paper. Stop tweeting it. Stop writing about it, because all of that stuff is coming back on so many people.
I think that's one of the problems.
It's interesting to watch. I mean,
we didn't have all this. It wasn't trackable when we were younger, right? So if you said something that was offensive or wrong, you apologized.
Correct.
It couldn't be brought up 100 times later.
But when you said it, you were immature as all.
We grow and we change.
Exactly.
None of us here are the same person we were when we were children. And what I'm curious about is when you look at like this is Google Analytics, right? That's what we're looking at. So whoever bought defense attorney from Google for that DC area, good job, great foreshadowing. You knew, but I'm curious to see, did it come from Congress?
So first of all, you lie, because you said that none of us here are the same people we were when we were children. Bruh.
I'm childish.
Don't look, because I will tell you I'm an overgrown 12, 13-year-old, right? I mean, pretty much.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, you're what, 7, 8, 10? I mean,
I'm
something
about
like that?
9. No,
okay,
that's
so
8,
yeah, we're going to wrap this segment in just a second. Go ahead, Renee.
Caleb is a child with more skills now.
I could live with that one.
And look, at the end of the day, what I love about this, and we're going to come back, we're going to pick this up because this is a big conversation, is that these people have not grown up. They got accustomed to saying, "Throw me something, mister," and they built a life on it. And their lives are now coming crumbling down because the disinfectant that is sunlight is being shown upon it every minute of every day of every week, and it's beautiful. And we can say, "Throw me something, mister," to all the Mardi Gras floats that roll by here in southern Louisiana. But when they say, "Throw me something, mister," it was a quid pro quo relationship. Make no mistake. They were getting something out of it. They know what they got. They know they're in trouble. And the panic in DC is absolutely palpable. We'll be back. Wrap up hour 1 of Implicit Bias Radio. And don't forget, hour 2 is always more fun. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna taste the soup.
God.
We'll talk about the soup and get the next course. Well, we'll get it visually there.
That's why I had to lean forward for this.
Okay, I'm pretty sure. So, John, if you want to jump in,
That
if
soup is phenomenal.
Renee, if you want to
Now,
jump,
this is
Ran, if you want to jump,
wild
whichever one wants
bourbon.
to jump for this segment, we'll rotate it out. Next segment,
Wild bourbon mushroom.
wild bourbon, mushroom, and brie soup.
Okay. Ooh, you get the
You
brie.
going? I'm going.
You get the brie. It's creamy.
I don't care.
That's what she said.
The mushroom is
And we're live.
yeah. The mushroom is delicious. It's smoky. He diced it up well. It's not too small to where you lose it, but with that creamy consistency of the brie and everything else, that goes really well. Like almost sticky because of the cheese, almost, but it's not. It's on the very edge, the very verge of being like that cheesiness. Great job, chef. That is.
Oh, this is definitely something I could
Now-
eat a lot of this.
Elizabeth and I had this as an appetizer on Valentine's Day. It's fantastic.
There's like a smokiness to it. This
Yeah.
is-
Oh, yeah, that's good.
That's
the
very
cheese in it, and I mean, and you can't pull out any of the individual components of this.
No,
It just
it's done
blends
well.
so well together. You don't taste any bourbon. It's more cheese than anything else that I get, but oh my
I
God.
think the brie was a great choice with that because
Yeah.
it just blends in
Well,
perfect.
brie is a softer
Yeah.
cheese anyway. It blends in very well.
I look,
but-
I
could eat a big bowl of that.
will sit at home with the wife. So the wife has started making her own bread. And gentlemen out there, here's what I'm going to tell you. If you're watching on stream and your wife says, I want to start making sourdough, let her. Help her. I'm your host because you will never eat bread as good as the
Yeah.
sourdough your wife makes at home.
This is valid. I will concur.
And what I will tell you is you want to make a full meal out of the most pure bread you will have ever eaten in your life. It is literally flour
Mm.
and water. And if you take that and you take a big thing of brie and you heat the brie and you toast the bread, I can sit there all night with a couple bottles of whiskey
Dude,
and a loaf of bread and a thing of brie, and I will not remember not just my own name, but what day of the week it is, much less what year it is.
we do a brie and then smoked Gouda. I love smoked
Oh.
Gouda. My wife has like, I grew up, I was like, American cheese in the plastic wrapper.
Of course.
That is not cheese. And then now that she's educated me after 20 something years of marriage, I'm no longer the caveman I was a little.
You're
Again, don't lie. It's
Yeah,
okay. We
yeah.
are the cavemen that our
Now
wives
I'm
married.
I'm the caveman that she married, but I like nice things.
Yes, we've learned to hide it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
And like, I will sit down and enjoy a glass of wine, bottle of wine, and a good cheese. That's just like, I'm like, this is not what I expected in my life, and I'm so grateful.
All right. So I don't know what comments look like. I think the peanut gallery over at the bar is supposed to be monitoring social media, and I don't know that they are.
Elizabeth is commenting, sweetheart.
Not even paying attention. No, it's okay. We were
Are y'all
we were talking to
monitoring
all of
it
y'all.
at all or anything? No.
Okay, so
I'll close my
here's
phone
what-
down.
here's
And
what
I'll
we're gonna
start paying
task you
attention to
with.
what we're doing.
So for those who are watching on the stream, we
Sorry.
have a $500 gift certificate here to Mr. Lester's and a hotel stay for you and someone else
But it's only on stream.
to give away here tonight. So if you are watching on stream, we want to give it away to someone watching.
The mathematical equations. Let's do something with them.
Oh no, math is
Oh.
math is hard for some people. I mean,
Well, that's the point.
Yeah.
Like, we'll
No,
figure out how
Me
well
and
they
Caleb,
Google.
We can't figure out the answer.
I'm trying. Well, that's my point. Like, we won't have the right answer.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out. Okay, so here's an idea. We're gonna float this around while we're in break. I think we should get the best answer to the question, what is the meaning of life, in the live stream.
That's easy.
Not from a movie.
Not from can't be from a movie.
Okay, that's still easy.
Renee, you can't win.
I know, but I know the answer.
Looks good.
It's 40.
No, that is not the meaning of life.
Yeah, that's from a movie.
That-
or
that
to
is-
blave.
No, it's from a book,
It's from a book.
which was turned into a movie,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it was a book.
which is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yes.
For
I
those
think
who are
I'm-
literate.
I'm down with that. I think that's good. I think that.
Okay, so
is
ladies,
amicable.
what do we think? The best
look,
answer
it's-
to the question, what is the meaning of life in our live stream?
And
We're gonna put it up to the
That's up to
three
them.
of you to vote.
They vote on it. They
Whichever
figure out
one
who gives the
y'all
best answer.
suggest is the best answer.
Our wives are the judge.
Yep.
Is judges.
We will say whether it is a unanimous decision, a split decision. Who comes up with the best answer? What is the meaning of life? They have to put the answer.
Not from a movie.
And correct, it cannot be from a movie. So if you put 42, you're out.
Or to blave. Or all the
Yes,
other stuff.
to blave. Yes, no, we can't do that one either.
Yeah.
Great call, by the way.
Yeah, I tried.
Was that you or was that John?
What?
To blave.
It was me.
Well done. Well done. Cheers, sir. Yes. Well done to you.
Salute.
Oh, wait. Did we take the soup out? Because we need that soup there because we got to talk about it. We didn't get to fully talk about it. We need it to be able to get a look at it. Yeah, you don't get to eat it yet. It's okay.
Gotta
Saunter.
dog it. I guess I'll try this other bourbon now. Some days my job's just so difficult. And thank you for those y'all watching.
It's
and
it's
people
your
out there and
job to
everything
come
else.
up with all the descriptions so I can just drink bourbon.
Man, and I would love to
I don't
tell
have
you,
to worry about it. I just drink it and enjoy it.
I would love to tell you I've always been this descript, but I don't think so. I really don't. Like you asked my wife, I don't think I ever had this many adjectives. But what it goes to is when I drink bourbon now, not when I was younger, I try to pinpoint something in it and remember something. When I was younger, I tried to forget everything.
Okay, so we give you crap, Caleb.
No,
we
you
do.
can
For those who are
give
watching,
me trash.
yeah,
Go
we
ahead.
give him trash. We give him crap. The reality is, your descriptions are spot on.
Yes.
It's almost
What's-
never that I listen and I'm like, he's wrong.
It's like I said
Yeah,
earlier.
it happened at least once.
You get the whiskey that we're talking about and go back and
No
listen
socks,
to
John?
Caleb's description of it. I mean, he nails those
He does.
descriptions spot on. I mean, he just brings up things that little flavors of the candy, and I'm like, dude, I know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He's
it's
good.
there.
I'll blame
he
it
is
on
very
I-
good.
I'll blame it on. I spent a lot of time in Angola. So-
not the prison,
no,
the
in the
country.
prison. In the prison.
Oh, in the
Yeah,
prison.
actually, I went to Old Red, the Blake Shelton song. I went to the grave for the dog. It's actually
Oh.
there in Angola. And
I
everything
thought you were going to tell me you spent a lot of time talking to the tossed salad man.
else. No, not that one.
Some of you who are old enough will get that joke. All
That
right,
was-
y'all want to wrap up hour one? But this is final segment hour one, correct? Walker's like, I'm ready to be done. It's almost 8 o'clock. We got another hour and a half of radio to do. Let's do this.
3, 2.
Final segment of hour one of Implicit Bias Radio. I'm Kavan Bordelon. We are live at Mr. Lester's on the streaming side of the show. If you are listening on terrestrial radio, trust me, you want to follow us on our socials, whether it's X, YouTube, whether it's Insta, where you might find some things, but definitely on Facebook where we're live. You don't want to miss it because we're actually giving stuff away. So for those who are watching on the live stream, just live stream, we are giving away a $500 gift certificate for 2. You've got 30 days to collect it once you get it at Mr. Lester Steakhouse.
I was doing the pinky. I thought we were doing the
Yeah, no, we're not doing the pinky. We're
$1
not doing-
million.
It's $500 at Mr. Lester's, which, trust me, will cover well more than what you can order and eat here at Mr. Lester's.
Try it.
And a hotel stay at Cypress Bayou Casino. Here's what we're looking for. And look, if you just want to chime in because we like funny answers, what we're looking for in our live stream is the best answer to what is the meaning of life. Funny. The wives will pick if it's foul and they say, well, it was foul, but it was funny. We'll override. It's okay.
It's on. No, my wife will not. Our wives will not be like it was. No, they'll enjoy it. They'll have fun.
They will.
I'm waiting to hear them giggle. So
Yes, because that's when it's going to be the best. When
Yeah.
when they all kind of hee and they don't want to talk about
my
it.
wife's never
Yes.
he. But yeah.
Oh, please, Caleb. I'm not going there. I can't go there. I want to go there. I can't go there. So we are talking about on this episode, Throw Me Something, Mister. The first thing we have to say is that we are being thrown stuff here at Mr. Lester's that is off the charts. So the appetizer that we got here for tonight, the soup, was a wild bourbon mushroom and brie soup. Renee, go ahead.
I could eat that as a main course.
It's
That soup.
fantastic.
Oh, they brought a little bowl out. Well, it's not a little bowl, but I mean, I could eat like a gumbo bowl of that stuff. The flavors are just they meld together so well. You can't pick out any distinct thing other than the cheese. But I mean, it's so creamy and smooth and
Renee, we
Dude.
pick on you and we pick on each other. What I will say is we don't need you going into AFib again. Please do
right.
not try to eat a full wheel of cheese here tonight because
yeah.
we like you being around. We need a certified wizard of tobacco here on the show. No, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Caleb,
No,
you
it's
want to chime
great.
in?
No, it's. I think, and we talked about this earlier, right? The wild bourbon mushroom. Like in my mind, Chef Willie went out and he found a bottle of bourbon that was like buried under 2 logs and had to wrestle an ogre to get to it. And that's how you got this.
Yeah.
It's wild bourbon, not
Yeah.
not wild mushroom, wild bourbon. No, it's wild bourbon. And he had to fight it and wrestle it and skin it. That's where we got this.
Okay, so new face here on the show because you haven't seen John in a while. He is John Mode of the Dania Beach Bourbon Club out of South Florida. We love having him on the show because he gets to drink bourbon with us. He likes to talk bourbon. So first of all, the soup and then the whiskeys that you've sampled here tonight.
Yes, Grant did not gain 6 inches in like 100 pounds. So first and foremost, the soup. I would say so far everything I've had from Chef Willie is perfectly balanced.
Yes, that's a
That
great
is-
call.
He blends flavors. I mean, that is an incredible dish in and of itself. The fact that is an appetizer to what we're about to enjoy, I am salivating. Am I reviewing this bourbon here?
Well, no, actually, what I'd like you to do is tell me what your thoughts on the King Ranch.
So the King Ranch, I would be 100% on board with Caleb on the cherry. I got a very complex but not that deep of a bourbon for me personally. Green. I would liken it to. Do you remember a while back when we had the St. Augustine distilleries, the Saint?
Yes.
Yes.
That was aged in the old fashioned syrup barrels.
Mhm.
I got kind of that vibe to it. And Old Forester is historically very viscous, very syrupy, very.
But this
minty,
was not
but
at
it
all.
wasn't exactly. I think they did a really, really, really good job with that bottle.
Actually, I agree with you on this. It was one of the things that I noted about the bottle and didn't say it was that the viscosity, it's not oily at
No.
all, which maybe is why it doesn't have the long finish. Maybe it's why it doesn't have that big full flavor on the front end. It could have done to me with a little bit of oil in the whiskey.
It could have stuck with you for sure.
Yeah.
It really did just kind of end when you finish, which makes it dangerous.
It does.
Easy
When
to
it's-
continue
it,
drinking.
it made you want another glass because you're like, I think I got hints of the flavors that I enjoy. Let me try one more.
Okay, so y'all ready for the next course that's coming from the back? Because look,
bring it.
the fun part is we're actually going to sub some people in because Chef Willie is not going to be on the show with us tonight. Tonight, it's going to be Chef Ryan Fitch, who is the assistant executive chef here
Ooh,
at
good for
Mr.
him.
Lester Steakhouse.
Good for him.
Y'all ready? It is a beef carpaccio garlic crostini with mascarpone truffle cream, microgreens with crispy capers. I know. You seem so disappointed, John. So disappointed that you actually flew in from Florida to be on this show and be a part of this. And we're about to see what it looks like. We're going to pass it around in this
Didn't you
segment.
want to be a microgreen farmer at one point in time?
To some degree, I am a microgreen farmer.
That's a different green.
That's a whole, yes, that is not lettuce. That is devil's lettuce.
I love how you picked it up. I love that was superb.
Yeah. Cheers. Right. Ring the
Oh,
bell. Because
Look
that's
at that presentation there.
Oh, that is absolutely good. That's a entirely new plate here at Mr. Lester's. We
yeah,
have
I
not
haven't
seen
seen
that
that
plate here
one.
at Mr. Lester's in
I like
a year and a
is it
half that we've
gray
been
or
here.
blue.
It's a stone colored,
Yeah.
right? The crispy capers, right? And yeah, notice Renee is not shy.
I'm trying to learn because what is it? Men can only see 7 different colors.
Something like that.
Shy people go hungry.
There's more than 7 colors.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
you need to grab the microphone. You need to eat it because this is an audible.
That's
medium.
whenever Grant starts going about teal. I'm like, what is that? It's
Yeah,
either
no.
green or blue.
Green or blue. All right. So yeah, go ahead and eat, Renee. Use your spoon. You can trust me. You can cut it
Break
with
out
the spoon.
your pocket
You'll be
knife
just
and cut it in
fine.
pieces.
So we were talking about in the last segment the searches which indicate potential guilt in Washington, D.C. And there's a lot. The question is, and we said this, how deep does this go? What exactly are we looking at? And this is one of the things that I love to call out. So first of all, you will notice that for every move in the media chess game that is out there, there is a counter move. But it doesn't always mean that the counter move is legitimate. So when the Department of Governmental Efficiency noted that we have spent somewhere over 14 million people on Social Security rolls over the age of 110. 14 million. Somewhere over that. It could be closer to 20 for all I know. Receiving on average, call it $2,000 a month. Which means that someone out there is on an annual basis, multiple people receiving, call it $7 billion a year. What was the counter move? The counter move said, oh, no. That number's not right. Do you know what that counter argument was, Renee, at all?
Yeah, that we didn't need Robert Kennedy to keep
Nope.
us healthy
No.
That's not
because
it.
people live so long.
Nope. Grant, what's the counter argument?
Well,
I'm sorry, not Grant. Caleb, what's
they
the counter
were
argument?
recycling Social Security numbers.
Nope, that's not
That's
the counter
not-
argument either.
That was one of them.
The counter argument is that the programming software they are using, and they are trying to use this to
I
throw
didn't
it.
see that.
Oh, yeah. This is a big deal because they're saying, Elon Musk must be a moron because the software that was used or that is used today with Social Security numbers. Oh, dear Lord, we've only got a minute. Okay, I've got to speed this up. The software that's currently used with Social Security numbers defaults to 150 years old, essentially, when it does not have a date. But the problem is you've got people in categories of dates that would put them at 130, 140, 160, 180, 170, 190, right? In other words, they're saying, it's all because we just didn't put a date. Liar. It's because someone's consistently lying. We are going to wrap this up. Don't miss hour 2. If your radio station only gives you hour 1, trust me, you want to come back for hour 2 of Implicit Bias. It's always more fun. There's more whiskey, more food, and more solving the problems of the world, one weekly whiskey at a time on Implicit Bias Radio.
Yeah, so
That was quick.
What I saw, I saw that argument, but I didn't really go down the rabbit hole with it because I was like, well,
How's the Carpaccio?
That's shallow.
It's-
It's not there.
It's good. That is definitely a one-person
segment
thing
of
because that
hour one.
bread does not cut very well.
Well,
That's one of those things you just pick up the bread and eat it.
Can you pass me the plate?
The
because
but-
it goes into I think there were 14 people almost 300 years old.
well, see that
Correct.
there again, it goes to my point. We don't need Robert Kennedy because Americans live so long that we don't have to worry about it. We have people that are 150, 300 years old here,
Yeah, come on, you have a knife right here.
Yeah. Well, I don't need the knife. We're good.
But I mean,
Yeah.
we all know that it's, somebody scamming the system. But
Well, and that's the unfortunate part is,
these things,
there are people
you
taking
need to put new
advantage.
things on this.
there are people taking advantage of the system, and there are people that need the system. There are people that have been around for quite some time that need
Oh,
their
dear Lord.
retirement, and there are other people that are just working the system and abusing it.
Okay. I love beef carpaccio. A truly delicious raw beef is fantastic, but oh my goodness, that is a work of art on a plate.
Is this mustard?
Chef's
seed
Lily's
on this
Rob.
side, or-
Yes. Yep. Okay, so how are the comments on socials?
They're great, but Jessica's choosing.
No. The three of you cannot defer.
No, we're
No, you don't get to play Congress and hand your vote card to somebody else and sit at the bar and drink and make someone else go vote for you.
We already did it. Is that what y'all did? The four of you?
Nope.
Someone just said
I mean,
everybody
that is what we
vote
did.
what your wife tells you.
We elected y'all.
You get to do this.
We elected y'all.
You appointed. You appointed.
I didn't feel like that's four drinks.
You Elon Musk.
One more.
Caleb's deep in thought on this one.
I need one more to
Well, what?
Kavan has declared y'all Elon Musk. You go through and figure it out.
Bro, just open that iris. You'd be good.
That is the best carpaccio I've ever had. Normally, it's much thinner, less flavor.
Yep. Agreed.
You get the flavor of the beef, the mustard seed.
Caleb, we know how much you love raw meat.
Yeah.
Mouthfuls and mouthfuls.
What's the brown sauce?
Mustard. So
sauce.
The brown
that's
sauce.
it looks like a balsamic.
It looks like
Yeah.
a balsamic vinaigrette, and he has mustard seed, and then he has is it chives?
Oh no,
or
that's the truffle cream.
truffle cream. Okay, no.
No,
There's
no.
dollops of,
Yep,
of truffle
yep,
cream.
Yep.
There's a balsamic vinaigrette, dollops of truffle cream, and then what are the little capers? That's
Mhm.
it. They just go so well with it.
The crispy capers are outstanding.
That is normally when you have carpaccio, it's so thin you lose the beef flavor.
Agreed.
like that is it's the thickest carpaccio I've had, but yet it's not overly done, and it's so tender, so soft.
It's the thickest beef
Oh.
you've put in your mouth, Caleb.
No, that's second best.
Since
Second best.
2006 at least.
Yeah. That is
Since I got out of the
Like-
military.
impressive. Since the big green
What,
one.
the carpaccio?
Oh, yeah, I love it, but I have a winner. And we all picked.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Hold
oh.
on to it. We're gonna announce the winner last segment. It's fine. Hold on to it. It's fine. But because look, no, we want as many people to answer because you might get a better answer.
So here's your
I'm just saying,
chance.
you've got your front
Well,
runner.
that's horrible because then people aren't going to share it.
No, we've got a front runner.
Yes.
People can try
We
and
need
beat it,
More.
but we
Oh.
don't know what the meaning of life is from the implicit
Share,
bias
like,
family.
Ask your wife for advice, ask your grandmother for advice.
We gotta-
Call Meemaw right now.
We're gonna announce the winner in hour 3.
Yeah. So Renee, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
call
do
me
the
more
cigar
right now.
probably at dinner,
It's 8:00.
but yeah, because oh my god, that carpaccio is fantastic.
She's actively eating cherry candies with the flour on them.
My grandmother called me the other night at like 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, what are you doing awake? I'm sleeping. She goes, 11 o'clock, you're sleeping? I'm like,
Damn it.
yes, ma'am.
My grandmother is such a night owl that it used to be a party trick for me in college. It'd be 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna call my grandma real quick, and people are like, I don't think you should do that, and she'd answer every time.
Well, I love the fact that you would be out partying and call your grandma.
I love my grandma. She's my best friend.
Okay, so here's my question. Number one, where were you that there was actually a place open at 3 a.m. in college?
South Florida.
24 hours.
6
Really?
a.m., 7 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Okay, I didn't know South Florida was like New Orleans, where everything's 24 hours. All right.
The only difference is the smell.
Yeah, and that is very true.
Unless you're on Duval Street.
Look, you can't deny the truth. Cannot deny the truth. So for those out there watching on stream, we appreciate you hanging with us as we bring you Implicit Bias Radio live from Mr. Lester Steakhouse. So what I'm going to tell you is we've got some surprises, and I'm going to announce this now. So for those who are on the stream, for those who are here in the room, for those who are going to watch the stream, you may want to look for the surprise. Do me a favor, Tug. I need you to mark this time for me. I just need a timestamp. Mr. Lester Steakhouse is going to embark upon a journey with you, the whiskey drinker who can make it here. Doesn't matter where you're from. If you make it here from Timbuktu and it's available, they're going to do it for you. I am aware that this weekend, behind the bar, this weekend only. So we are talking the 21st and 22nd. Well, actually, the 20th, 21st, and 22nd, because that's the Thursday, Friday, Saturday that they're open. Behind the bar, there will be, well, there might be, because it might be there one night, it might not be there the next night. It's one of those things where if you come in, you get it. A bottle of Blanton's and a bottle of Eagle Rare. No, John, you are not eligible to get that. You, our listeners, if you come in Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and they still have it, $12 a pour. $12 a pour. Come in, ask for it till it's gone. That Mr. Lester's really wants to try and make great whiskeys available. Well, not just available, but available at the price it should be available,
Amen.
not the price that some restaurant somewhere wants to charge you because they think you'll pay it.
Well, and that goes to, on the Bourbon Society Facebook page the other day, somebody was looking for something particular. They were asking how if it's worth it, should they try it? I'm like, man, go out, go to somewhere like Mr. Lester's and try it. Try it. Like roll the dice, give it a shot. If you like it, great, go buy a bottle. If not, and you can do that here and not break the bank.
Here's the best part of this, and I know people think that we're here. I don't want you to believe this on this. I really don't. I hope you think that I'm full of crap on this. If you live between New Orleans and Houston, and you want the best steakhouse that you can find, come here. The supply of beef that this restaurant utilizes is approved by PETA. And it's
Okay,
not
yeah.
just because animals taste great. It's because of the way that they process their cattle. I want you to think about that. What that translates to is the most delicious, most tender, most flavorful steak you're ever going to put in your mouth.
Well, I mean, and you come here, the bar is stocked with things that you're not going to find in most restaurants or bars. They do. Chef Willie goes out and looks for rare stuff to put behind the bar. So you can come here, you can try, like you said earlier, have a pour. If you've been thinking about, oh, what does this taste like? You can come here, you can have a pour, and then have a great steak. And then go later on and try to go to Nunu's or somebody like that and find the bottle if it's available. Some of that stuff is unobtainium.
Caleb?
When what it goes to is when you hunt, right? When you hunt your own game and you harvest your own animals, if you get a bad shot, you taste it in the meat.
You do. For those who have ever gotten their hands bloody.
Yep, you taste the endorphins, the stress, everything else in the animal. Whenever the animal dies, quick and painless, and it's a humane death, the meat is better. It really, really is better. And that's why shot placement, look, bullet selection's a lot, but shot placement is the biggest thing when it comes to it. And we try to tell a lot of hunters this, and different calibers shoot different, so you got to understand it. But,
unless you're shooting a 308 DRT,
well,
which, by the way, Defense Research Technologies, we're calling you out
because
I'm going to talk about your stuff. It's that good.
Yeah,
it's that good. Goes in like a pinky, comes out like you're double fisting it. I mean, fantastic.
Even
talk about drop.
With that.
This is true, Renee. Even I can kill a deer with DRT.
Room
not,
for error.
Not Defense Research Technologies.
Dynamic research.
Dynamic. It's still not that. It is
dead right there.
Dead right there.
And that's,
or down right there.
Yeah. The bullet does all the work for you. With the right bullet, it happens because the animal doesn't realize what happens. So it doesn't have time to tense up, to do everything else. And the meat really tastes better when you do it humanely.
John, before we jump back into hour two, you got the microphone. You wanted to say something.
No, I was going to say that there's a reason why 2 of the 3 times I've been physically present on the show have been at Mr. Lester.
yeah. You do your best to show up when we're here, right? John's like, when are you going to be there? I'm there. Yeah, we love that.
Would you look at that? Flights to Lafayette.
All right, let's roll hour 2. Let's get some radio produced here, because that ultimately is what we do. For those who are on the live stream. Keep going, Walker.
3, 2.
Hour 2 of this week's episode of Implicit Bias. I'm your host, Kevon Bordelon. And yes, we are enjoying ourselves, if you are watching on the live stream side, at Mr. Lester Steakhouse down at Cypress Bayou Casino, the only 5-star restaurant between New Orleans and Houston. We are all dressed up because why? It is time for you to throw me something, Mr. Even though maybe that has gotten us into trouble. Let me introduce you to the crew that we have here with us in the cigar lounge at Mr. Lester Steakhouse. He is sitting to my left. He's probably got his own camera. I don't know. Hopefully it hasn't broken yet. He is the Rustic Renegade, Caleb Morse, who is not only, and we got to give him credit where credit is due, he is not only the most descriptive bourbon taster I think we have on the show. He is also the king of nicknames. His nicknames stick. When he comes up with a nickname, they land.
You can thank Uncle Sam for that.
Oh, that's a military thing?
Oh yeah, there are guys that I still like when I talk to them, like, I can't call you that anymore. It's not PC, but you know what? It works.
We don't necessarily care about PC on the show. Matter of fact, we embrace non-PC.
No, I can't say
what I
these
mean?
on the radio.
That's a little different. That's a little different. Yep. All right. Across the table from us, we have Rene Girard. He is Louisiana's only certified master tobacconist. He's actually one of 16 in the world. And then we have John Mode.
No,
One day
no,
it'll be
no,
right.
no. 15. You cannot identify.
Hey,
Trump
you know
did
what?
away with that.
You know what? You know what? Actually, cheers to you,
Oh,
Renee. Ring the
yeah,
bell.
valid.
Because now in 2025,
He
I-
signed an
I don't get to
executive
identify
order.
anymore.
You can't identify anymore.
I don't get to identify.
Yeah,
So, Renee,
that's
you're
it.
one of
You're
50.
done.
Sitting next to Renee is the juggernaut. He is John Mode. We love him being here on the show. He's with the Dania Beach Bourbon Club, who has actually gone out and he's done bourbon reviews all over social media. Go find him, like him, follow him. And John actually makes sure that he's here for a very specific reason. John, do you want to admit that actually on the radio, or do you want to hide behind the fact that you do the best to show up when we're at Mr. Lester's so you can eat good food and taste good whiskey?
I mean, let's be honest. There are times in life where you need to show up. And when Chef Willie starts doing his thing, I just appear.
You appear. Yeah. You're like I Dream of Jeannie, right? You just come out of the bottle and show up.
But it also speaks a lot to the fair pricing, right? There's a reason that I consistently lose the pricing games that we play, because the pricing in Louisiana is just better. So I buy a lot of whiskey here.
Well,
Okay.
and that speaks a lot to what you pay at certain places here in Louisiana. It really does.
So before we dive into more topics that we need to solve the problems of the world, there is a plate that is sitting on a table. It is a beef carpaccio. It is, as Ferris Bueller would say, so choice. If you have the means, I highly recommend acquiring one. As Renee eats the last of the beef carpaccio that we have here to sample. That's the second course, and it is off the charts. Gents, what are your thoughts? Caleb, you're texting someone as
No, I'm
John's
responding
pointing at
to-
you.
I'm responding to Alan because he was like, "Thank you for holding back, Caleb, so we don't get more letters of complaint." So
Wait, what did you hold back with?
nicknames.
Oh, okay. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So the carpaccio, that is, it's if you've had it before, normally carpaccio, how do you pronounce it really well? Like
Carpaccio.
carpaccio.
It's an Italian dish, carpaccio.
So normally it's very thin. You lose the flavor because it's beaten thin, but you still get texture. You still get the flavor. You still get the meat that you're after with this.
Essence.
The essence, and then the truffle. What's the truffle cream?
Yes, a truffle cream.
The truffle cream that's dolloped on top. You have capers and
Crispy capers and a
balsamic,
garlic crostini.
the garlic crostini on the bottom, and a balsamic vinaigrette. This is the best I've had. And look, I haven't had a ton. I've had probably like 5 or 6, and I've made my own. Blows me out of the park. Like, Chef Willie, whatever you're doing, teach me, please.
So remember, this is not just Chef Willie,
No, you're right. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
right? We've got multiple people here, and we're going to bring in some of those players in just a minute. So I'm curious across the table, Renee, obviously, since you and now you're stealing the microphone.
I finished it.
Yeah, you
There was a
finished it.
little, y'all, I gave y'all a shot. You left a little bit, and I was like, okay, I'm going for it.
How many
Yes,
brothers
sir.
and sisters did you have?
I got 5 sisters, no brothers, and I'm the oldest.
We can
So, you
fought
know,
for his meal.
yes.
As
yes.
my- as
well,
my-
I
as my
just bull-
father-
no, I bullied for my meal.
Which you still do.
Yes.
As my father used to say, Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, whoever eats the fastest gets the most.
Yeah.
My father was the youngest of 10. So
Oh,
this is what happens in big Catholic families in Southern Louisiana. All right, John, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's really, really easy for garlic and truffle to dominate a dish.
Mm.
The fact that the beef was still the star of this show is incredible. All that flavor on that plate, so well balanced, so well put together, that I still get just the pureness of that beef is that was incredible.
Okay, so we're moving
Great-
from
Great thing to point out.
we're moving from beef to pork now with one of our main dishes. As we go from our beef carpaccio garlic crostini with mascarpone truffle cream, microgreens, and crispy capers, to our prosciutto wrapped mosaic pork tenderloin, baby carrot and asparagus tops, shredded potato cake with onion crema, a cherry bourbon coulis with fried sage leaf.
The fact that you can say all that is just phenomenal. Like, I'll tell you that right now. Earlier, I asked you and Chef and everyone else, I'm like, how do you say these words? And they just roll off your tongue.
Look, we're about to get to the one that's going to mess with me, and I'm sure I'm going to mess it up just because it's new and I try to pronounce it correctly. We don't always get it. But when I tell you that I'm just looking at this pork tenderloin, and look,
Now,
for those who don't know, a
and what-
mosaic pork tenderloin looks like a Wagyu beef ribeye.
And I was waiting for the mosaic. That's what I wanted.
Yes.
Because mosaic is pieced together. Normally, a mosaic is like different pieces of tile, so forth, and it pieces together an image. When you look at this, the image it portrays is, I want to eat it.
You'll get your chance. It'll come around.
I'm patient.
Here's where I want to dive in because we've got problems of the world that need to be solved. And this is a big one. We started talking about all the different numbers of people who were allegedly on Social Security and what they're getting per month and the amount of billions it adds up to. I don't know about you guys. The wife knows I've got a little bit of a crush. The fun part is the wife has a crush as well on our new press secretary. Oh, you do. You like
What?
our new presidential press secretary. Not like a crush like that. You just like the way that she responds to questions. Oh, Caleb, we know where your mind went. I'm just
Well,
saying.
yeah, I was like, that's not a hall pass.
No,
Like,
no. She just likes the way that our new presidential press secretary
like how
answers
she's-
questions.
I like how she's honest.
Yes,
She's like, you asked me a dumb question, I'm gonna give you a dumb answer.
She's honest and she's feisty.
Well, you have to be because you're wrangling cats up there.
Well, let's be
You
honest.
ever looked at the reporters talking to him? She's like, no, I'm not talking to you.
Yeah. Well, and she doesn't have a binder, and she doesn't need to circle back.
No.
I mean,
Anytime I hear
this-
someone say circle
she-
back, I'm like, oh,
and
delete.
look,
she.
and
I
look.
mean, she is to the point and doesn't play.
And look, the name of her new show isn't Inside Jen Psaki.
Yeah. Ew.
Wait, I think I missed.
Yeah, that's bad.
Ew.
Is that for real? For real?
No, that's a real show.
Yeah.
Yes. The Circle Back Girl, her new show is actually named Inside Jen Psaki.
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of makes me uncomfortable.
I'm gonna
Point
have to
taken.
Circle back on that.
You
Okay.
just transfiguration just happened.
So that's going a whole different angle with that, and I don't even want to think about that. So my point here is this. Our new press secretary has outlined 2.7 trillion, not billion, not 100 billion, 2.7 trillion in fraud, in money that has been taken from you and from me. And yes, I'm messing up my microphone here. Money that has been taken from you and from me and sent.
It's okay. We forgive you.
Overseas?
You can wait for later.
That money has been sent overseas.
Mhm.
That money has been sent God knows where. And here's the ultimate challenge with this is that no one actually knows where the money went.
Well, that's part of it is no one codified it. They didn't have to codify it. They didn't have to do it properly. They didn't have to abide by the tax laws that we, the common folk, have to abide by because they're the government and the rules don't apply to them.
Renee, you want to chime in on this as you puff on that cigar? And I can't believe that no one has grabbed this mosaic pork tenderloin and started passing it around. John's like salivating over there.
Well, I
He's
am too, but
drooling
I
all over
mean,
his
you
tuxedo.
shamed me last time. I'm afraid to touch the plate now.
Renee, I am. Yes, I absolutely shamed you. Yes, I did. And I take pride in shaming you. We're good.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway,
I forgot what we were talking about now.
we were talking about the 2.7.
Oh yeah, the
trillion.
$2.7 trillion. You know, and I heard something on the news recently about they're now talking about sending a $5,000 check for the rebate of the 2.7 trillion that they found, which I don't understand how that money's been spent. It's gone. How is the government going
Okay.
to send this money
It's
back?
been budgeted. It's not that it is gone. It was spent, but now that they found where it went and they're cutting it off, it's already in the budget. And if anyone's ever done
so
any
they haven't
business-
cut the checks yet.
No, those they have. If you've ever
Some they
done
have.
business with the government, they spend the money regardless, right?
Oh yeah, whether they got
So now they're
approval or
like,
not.
look, we've saved $2 trillion. Let's give everyone 5,000.
In other words,
It's
what
still
they've-
a savings.
in other words, what they've said is the money's budgeted. We've stopped it from going to all of these fraudulent places. And instead, we're going to redirect it. We're going to send it to you, the taxpayer. And
See, that's
that's
what
a big deal.
That's what concerns me is that the money is gone, spent, and now they're going to just put us more in debt by going, we're going to send that money back to you. And that's what concerns me. That's how we get so far in debt. You know,
So, Renee, I agree with you. I would kind of like to see this money, instead of coming back to the taxpayer, just eradicate 2.7 trillion of the debt that we have as a country. But here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm waiting for the audit, and I'm looking at the camera for this one. I'm waiting for the audit of Fort Knox to tell me exactly how much gold we actually have, to tell us exactly how far in debt we are. John, you want to chime in?
You see those right there? Those are IOUs. Those are better than money.
Oh, dude, this is Dumb and Dumber. This is Dumb and Dumber at a governmental level. Absolutely. That's a great call out.
The thing with this whole process, this whole procedure, is there's always been an air of not my problem to the government. It's once it gets off my desk, not my problem.
Mhm.
And that's left a lot of holes for people to exploit. And I think that's what you're seeing now. And it's not the first time we've kind of audited our processes.
Yep.
But it's certainly the most fired up people have been about it, which tells you exactly how bad that is.
And I think it's a great call out from this perspective. We as an American people, I hate to tell you, we should have known this. We have had access to this information
It's public record.
for decades. We just didn't care. And now the truth has hiked up its skirt. It's made sure that the stockings are rolled down below the knees. It's squatting on your face and it's wiggling.
you know,
You can't get away from it at this point.
and
The truth is right in front of your face. We as an American public have to look at it. And no matter how hairy, how smelly, how distasteful it might be, we have to accept what it is. And we must recognize it for what it is, so it never happens again.
I mean, we trusted our politicians to do what was right.
And that's the problem.
And obviously that did not work.
Nope.
You know, that's why people didn't look into it. We elected people to go up to DC to do their job, and we trusted that they would take care of our money. Now it's coming out for the last 60, 70 years. They've been putting our money in their pockets.
Agreed.
Well,
Caleb doesn't have anything?
No, that goes
Y'all
to
don't,
like,
y'all don't like the imagery that I laid out there?
no,
Is that the
like,
problem?
I imagined Hillary Clinton the whole time.
Oh, dear God.
so
Why would you do that to
that's,
yourself?
That's not what I did. You did that to me.
No, I didn't do that to you.
So, but that goes to like, look, when it comes to politicians, you shouldn't, no matter how much you trust them, no matter how much you like them, no matter how much you know them, we're bad with our own money. Everyone here in this room has made financial mistakes.
Yeah.
And we've lived on to tell the tale, right? They don't pay the repercussions that we pay.
Nope.
So if they don't have the checks and balances, do you think they really care?
Well, and we've spent the last 10 years saying, well, if we don't pass this budget, the government's going to shut down.
Whoa. I'm going to give Democrats a tip of the hat here. Do you know when the last balanced budget we had in the United States was?
Clinton.
That's probably Clinton.
It was William Jefferson, cigar in the Oval Office, Clinton. He was the last balanced budget we had. So we've had Republican presidents since then. Donald Trump has been president since then. He didn't balance a budget.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't happen. But now we're starting to see where all that cash is going. And I have to wonder if maybe it wasn't partially intentional to blow everything out because I don't know about you, but an audit of the Fed and someone digging into the gold in Fort Knox might just throw the Fed into a total tizzy as Renee steals the microphone.
See, one of the things I got to work is that a presidential thing, or is that a presidential and congressional thing?
Okay, is
of
what?
balancing the budget, because the House has the purse strings, and they're the ones that's supposed to determine what money goes where,
So that-
and
look,
the president, the executive, signs off on it.
It's a good question. And here's the problem. The problem is that all of the people who were in the one big club as we wrap up this segment, they all got together and said, screw everybody else. We're going to do this how we want to do it. And we're going to make up our own damn rules. And that's what they did. So they got the executive to sign off on whatever the congressional budget was. They got the congressional budget to say, we know that the president is going to sign off on it. And we're just going to do whatever the hell we want to do. And we don't care what you, the people, have as repercussions from this.
It reminds me of there's a story. I don't remember what state it was in, but there was a story of a guy that found out that the power company could not turn your power off if he said the check had been mailed. They had like 15 days to receive the check. And so he called every Wednesday at like 2 p.m. and was like, hey, I just mailed the check. And he lived free power for like 25 years.
We've got free power. We've got more coming your way. We've got more whiskey. We've got more food. We're going to actually, Caleb and I are going to get to sample it because Renee and John have been eating the mosaic pork all segment and haven't shared. We're going to get that when we come back on this week's episode of Implicit Bias Radio.
Damn good carrot. I don't.
Well, like I've been
All
looking
right.
at asparagus. I'm like, ooh.
Let's rotate. Grant, we need you in, brother.
You got my spot, bro.
I'm sorry? Sure. Oh, yeah. Bring the flights. We're good.
Oh goodness.
Caleb, try that carrot. I mean, the pork is also incredible. The sage. Chef Willie. Is that sage inside that pork? Is that sage that's rolled?
No, it's a charcoal activated seasoning. And then
Caleb, I need a favor.
Yes, sir.
garnished with
I need a
white
bite on a
pepper.
fork, please.
Yeah, I
Because I'm trappeted.
Sir,
I saw what was happening.
hats
Oh,
off.
I'll fit that entire
We
bite
are
in my mouth.
enjoying
ourselves. For those who are watching on stream,
Bourbon cherry coulis.
Huh?
Bourbon cherry coulis.
mm,
Ooh.
Am I right or am I right?
I haven't had the carrot yet.
No.
okay.
When a decapitated carrot is also fantastic. Well, I'm sure there's a technical term for decapitated carrot. It's not that. Ooh, wow, right? He crushed a carrot. My goodness.
Y'all,
Mosaic pork tenderloin.
I am not,
I'm going to commit that to memory.
that is not one of the things that I look at in life and go, I need that.
That's amazing.
That
Like,
mosaic pork tenderloin eats like beef.
I need
that's a
8
charcoal
It is
activated
fantastic.
seasoning.
So here's what we're going
Very
to do,
well
Chef.
done. Very well done.
What we're going to do is we're going to do one more segment. We're going to replace you with John. You'll come in for that segment. We'll do a whole segment with you talking about the food, talking about how you came up with it and all that good stuff.
I got 2 more, of course.
Yep.
So do that first and then we'll talk. Or
So we're going to do this segment with we can do the next. So we'll have one after that. We'll bring you in. We'll talk because we've got 3 more segments. Yep.
wait a few minutes, do this next one, see if the locks on.
Actually, you can bring that now. And we'll jump into that now. And then we'll talk about it in between that and dessert.
I'll go start cleaning it up.
Thank you,
The-
Chef.
The hint of salt that you get with that
Yes. Oh,
is
look, it is
phenomenal. And that's, John, you and I were talking about that earlier. How I'm consuming more salt now, but like the salt you get with it, the flavors,
sorry?
everything else, that's impressive.
Okay. So you've got
The only pork I eat is bacon. Now I'm like, I
Rye.
should kill more pigs.
green, red, blue, rye, weeded bourbon. Thank you,
Oh,
Chef.
delicious.
All I know is this. We are blessed to be able to eat the stuff you cook and the stuff that is cooked here in this kitchen.
Does your wife eat this kind of food every night? Well, thank you for your honesty.
She cooks most of the time.
Oh, that's nice. Does it give you a break? Like,
She cooks Cajun food better than me.
well, hell yeah. Most wives do, I think,
Oh, look, we live in a part of the country that people don't understand, where the men in this part of the country in the home cook better than 90% of the women outside of this part of the country. The women in this part of the country cook better than 90% of everyone else. When I tell you my wife could put 40 pounds on me in 2 weeks if she wanted, in a heartbeat.
Well, and that goes to how they season, how they do the flavors, and like with what you do, y'all. I think you incorporate creativity in everyone here, because the meals y'all put together, the flavor profiles. I'm like, no, I wouldn't think of that. And you're all like, you know what? Roll the dice. Let's try it. And y'all just do a phenomenal job. It's so impressive. So,
Hey, he talked to us about that before. He'd just be driving home somewhere and say, just why not put this with that? There was a couple of meals that we had where it was just like, the creative bug hits him while driving.
So apparently,
Just watch the road, Chef.
that's what happens when you drive a F-350.
some of the people who are here in what is the TSPL South, also known as Mr. Lester Steakhouse, have apparently missed out on the wonderful gift that Lee Ritter, one of our sponsors, has sent us.
What? Where?
Yes. Oh, in text.
Oh, I should open my text message.
Oh, you should open your text, because Lee Ritter sent us that wonderful gift that says, she said she's waxing my Valentine's Day gift. I think I'm getting a car, y'all.
We're live.
Yes, I know we are. And we're getting a car. It's that simple.
Yeah.
That's where my head is. Is your head somewhere else, Caleb?
Elizabeth, I didn't do this. Don't be mad at me for this, okay?
You didn't hear the question. Is your head somewhere else?
What, my love?
Yeah, now Caleb's wife is like, what did you say?
Oh,
What did you do?
My wife's looking forward to later on.
You have to rewind it. Go for the replay.
What's Missy Elliott say? Like turn around, flip it down, reverse it. Or
Oh,
something
I
like that?
have no idea what Missy Elliott says.
I don't know how it goes.
I'm not from Opelousas, brother.
Yeah, I am.
However, I am from New Orleans, and I'm gonna tease something here. So first of all, I want to remind
know you
people.
will.
I want to remind people who are on the stream, you might want to show up at Mr. Lester Steakhouse the weekend of so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, which is when they're open, the 20th, 21st, 22nd. I'm hoping they have it behind the bar still on the 22nd. $12 pours of Eagle Rare and Blanton's.
Cut it in half. If no one else is going to do it.
So that's number one. Number two, we're working on something for March where we're going to get the whole New Orleans group that moved to Lafayette, Louisiana in the room. And when I mean a bigger name out of New Orleans, I mean a bigger name out of New Orleans. He's a buddy. He's a guy that I actually crossed paths with because we worked in some of the same places. And let's just say his thing is food. We're working on this.
okay.
We're going to confirm dates, and we're going to bring him into the Mr. Lester's TSPL. Grant, I'm going to make sure you're there because he grew up in Gentilly, not Gretna, which is West Bank. He's not a West Banker. He's a Gentilly guy, which means he knows what Kennebra means, right? So we're going to have some fun. We're going to have lots of fun on Implicit Bias Radio as we dig into now the Heaven Hill Grain to Glass series that's in front of us as we continue into hour 2. Let me pull up a quick story so we know exactly what we're talking about.
Well, which one are we starting with? Because
we've been down a couple of rabbit holes already.
no, with whiskey, because I have one.
Oh,
John
pick
has
one.
different
I don't care.
Now, red is Weeded. Green is rye. I have that in my hand. And blue is the straight bourbon.
Is the
right?
Kentucky Straight Bourbon.
Yeah.
Correct.
I'm going to change this up. I'm going to start with the Kentucky Straight.
All right. Whenever
Could
you
grab me
gentlemen are
some of that
ready.
Heaven's
Hey,
Heel?
Kavon, before
Caleb, if
Wait.
you're getting up,
Say again?
can you grab me some of that?
Wait, you didn't get a
Which
flight,
one?
Walker?
I probably don't need
Walker,
a
one.
flight.
Would you mind
The one
taking
all the
care
way
of
at the
Walker?
end.
Walker, we got you.
Oh, you
We're-
want
we're
the
gonna take it.
rye.
We're going to take care of Walker. We're going to get him
Never
some
mind,
rye,
you're
some of the
good.
green. We got it.
Okay. All right.
hey, Kavon, heard on Fox
I'm
this
going to
morning.
do the straight bourbon.
Doge department's officially
Department of Government
no, wait,
Efficiency.
No. Democrats officially getting exposed.
Yeah, no, that's
Oh.
what it is.
Morning. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, no,
Okay,
here's
so-
the problem. It's not just Democrats.
Yeah.
That's the big
Yeah.
part.
Very true.
And
but
that's
it's
what
more-
people need to
That's-
realize.
It's more fun to poke fun at them. Though.
It is, but the
It
reality is there are so many Republicans out there who are getting exposed and need to be exposed.
And
All
look,
right.
I have two aunts that are very far left leaning, and we talk politics. I talk politics. One of them talks. One of them yells, and we have to be able to discuss things, right? We have to be able to have a humane conversation. And with a lot of these people, you cannot.
Yeah. That's the lost art form right there.
Yeah.
The-
All right.
Look, the give and take of healthy debate and criticism.
Agreed. All right. We're segment 2, hour 2.
Mhm.
Oh wow, we're behind.
Yeah.
Walker's like, yes, we are.
3, 2.
Hour 2 of Implicit Bias Radio rolls on. I'm your host, Kavon Bordelon. We are, for those on the streaming side, live at Mr. Lester Steakhouse, Cypress Bayou Casino, the only 5-star restaurant between New Orleans and Houston. For those on the radio side, we just keep rolling on, and we're going to tell you, you might want to show up down here as quickly as you can because you never know what you're going to find behind the bar for $12 a pour. We're going to dive right in with the crew that we've had here. Renee Girard stepped out for just a second. He is the certified wizard of tobacco. He'll be back. We also have with us, though, on camera, the rustic renegade, Caleb Morse, who has been part and parcel to the show since day one. We also have another one who is an OG member since day one, Grant Galatas of William S. Called Jewelers. Grant, I think we've got some bottles that need to go into Deep Blue, the Waterford Crystal Infinity bottle that we use on Implicit Bias to take all of our blues and contribute to that Infinity bottle.
It's such a nice look because the Waterford standalone by itself, empty, looks nice, but filled almost to the rim with blues is just such a beautiful sight.
And you've had a taste. You know how good it is.
Yes.
It is absolutely
Absolutely.
impeccable. Create your own Infinity bottle. We also have with us from the Dania Beach Bourbon Club, John Mode out of Southern Florida, who's going to raise his glass and not talk because he's mute. Anyway, he's not. So one of the things that we're talking about is we solve the problems of the world. 1 or 4, or as you see the flight in front of us, which, by the way, that flight, which you probably see on the tables in front of us, the Heaven Hill Grain to Glass series, $5 a pour, $15 a flight here at Mr. Lester Steakhouse, is just how connected everyone is in Washington, D.C. We talked about in hour 1 the panic in Washington, D.C. And the panic is palpable. You can touch it. You can feel it. You can see it. You can measure it on Google Analytics based upon searches. But sometimes we forget. So I'm going to read to you a tweet, because back then it was a tweet from 2022 from Donald Trump Jr. And I just want you to really think about this. I quote, "If you think it's a coincidence that Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer became a federal judge, and that very same judge of thousands of judges was the person who signed off on the Mar-a-Lago search warrant, you haven't been paying attention."
And look, forgive me because I wanted to look into this. I wanted to confirm because there were some comments, some other things were like, oh, it's a lie and so forth. But when I scratch the surface, it's truthful.
It is truthful. So please don't believe us. Please go look this up.
And that's what scares me is like the blatancy of this. Like, no, don't look at the man behind the curtain. Pay no attention to him. And that's what's scary about this. They think we're that ignorant.
There's even a scarier part of this. So if everyone remembers some of the trials that we saw before the 2024 election, there was a particular judge whose daughter happened to run a political action committee. She ran a political consulting group. It's not a PAC, technically. It's a political consulting group. Go look at everyone this judge's daughter represents. It is Letitia James. It is everyone in New York who essentially has investigated the sitting president. They all are paying this judge's daughter consulting fees. And it just so happens that they all investigated Donald Trump. Oh yeah, Grant's reaching for the mic there.
Was it Marchand?
Yep.
Okay.
Grant figured this out. It's Judge Marchand's daughter. In other words, they're all connected. Which brings us back to one of the earlier segments in the show. And Caleb was the one who brought it up, which is, what's the big searches going on in Washington, D.C. right now via Google?
Defense lawyer.
Defense lawyer. Defense lawyer. There's a very specific term.
Rico?
Was it Rico?
Racketeering, influenced, corrupt organization. So follow me here. If all the dollars are going to the same people and they are all engaging in the same behaviors, but claim plausible deniability, that is what RICO was designed to take down.
Racketeering. That sounds so much like it.
It's a beautiful visual. Please go look this up. Some of you may have seen it. Some of you may have not. Bill Maher actually had a former mafia boss on his show. And he actually looked at Bill Maher and said, I've had 23 RICO cases brought against me. There's more evidence against the Biden administration than there was against me. And I've been convicted on all 23. Yet the DOJ wouldn't prosecute any of them. Stop and think about that for a hot minute.
Look, when you're the big guy, you're covered in Teflon.
Well, you're getting 10% of everything. And for those of you who don't believe it, and this goes out specifically to some people that I know, I actually had someone say, oh, Doge put out classified information on their website and didn't realize it was classified. Stop believing Huffington Post. You're educated at a level that should be able to dig deeper than your ankle bone when you step into the puddle. The reality is HuffPost, not the truth. Democratic lawmakers, I actually believed it at first and went and looked at it and I was like, that's not true. That information was actually cleared from classification years ago. Please don't believe us. Dig, look, because this is the big deal. Speaking of big deals, there's a plate on the table and there's a plate that we can see. I believe that is a lobster cannelloni. Okay, the look on the face of Tug, Aaron David, our video producer, when he looks at this cannelloni is like, I'm about to hurt someone for some cannelloni. He's going to take that round peg and force it through the square hole to get that cannelloni. That's all I know. So we're going to pass this around because this looks absolutely fantastic here at Mr. Lester Steakhouse. Go ahead, guys. Y'all are on the closer side of the table. John's like, I'm not shy because Renee's not there to grab it. Renee, I know you have one at the bar. We're good. Go ahead, John. Go ahead.
There's no.
You don't need
here.
a knife. It's cannelloni and lobster.
It's Tinda.
Dude, pick up the plate. We're in Southern Louisiana. So we're going to talk about this again on another
Get some of
episode
that lobster on top too.
of Implicit Bias, which is Southern Louisiana. You can export us anywhere. Don't import your BS here because we will call you on it.
Isn't a lobster just like a 1-2 count crawfish?
No, it's a crawfish that actually made its way from the freshwater of Louisiana through the Gulf Stream up to the northeast coast of Louisiana, and the salt water causes it to grow.
Oh, it makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, that's
Don't try to boil
John.
them.
You don't know this?
Yeah, you can't
John,
boil them like you do crawfish.
You haven't figured this out?
Yeah, you can.
Down where you are, you'll have like spiny lobsters, right? No
Yes.
claws.
Because the
The
warm
claws are the
water,
best
because
part.
the warm water makes it lose its claws. The cold water in the Northeast makes it regain its claws.
Yeah.
Because it's akin to the cold water in southern Louisiana where they grow and molt and get bigger.
I'd have to reference a biologist for the.
John,
Biology
John,
is science.
John, would we lie to you?
Yes.
yes, we would. Yes, we would. So here's the really funny part. My father and my parents own a mobile home RV park outside of New Orleans where they bring in people from outside of New Orleans all the time. My father used to tell that story and every Northerner believed it because it's not the truth. It is an absolute lie. But I had you for a second.
Well, I'm sitting there, I'm eating the lobster, and I'm like, oh, this is so good. Then I'm like, what did you just say?
You're like, I forgot what I just had.
I gotta verify this.
Okay, so Grant, your review of this dish.
That's just fantastic. I mean, the cannelloni is so soft. You don't need a knife or a fork. I just took a big chunk of the lobster claw as well as the cannelloni with a spoon. Seriously, it's just so tender. We may fight over the rest of that lobster claw.
No, we're not, because Caleb and I are going to get
Ooh,
some.
yeah, we'll get
we're going to
some,
come
get
back
some
in the next segment.
Okay,
We're
just
gonna
make it quick.
Finish it out.
Okay,
We're going to move John and we're going to bring the chef in who actually did this.
Caleb's about to suck the filling right out of that cannelloni.
We're not going to talk about that on the air. We're going to come back with more of this week's episode of Implicit Bias Radio right after this.
I love how I got that in right before the live show. Yeah, before the show ended.
Oh, yeah, Caleb, you got to bring that plate around here because that just looks redonkulous.
I'm gonna pass it to you while I go take a train break. Where did my wife go?
Okay, so ladies, how are we doing on our
I'm taking my flight with me.
meaning of life?
They forgot. They're
Still
eating.
the same one?
No, they're eating. They
It's all
forgot.
good. We have it.
Still, is it still the same one?
Yeah, your wife. Yes.
I will zip it and listen to the most important person in my life, who is sitting right over there. Oh, Walker, you are.
Nicely done, Bubba.
Oh my God, that's good.
How dare I? What?
Yeah, whatever you want. Go ahead, you're good.
Yes.
I'm so sick of it.
That is so good.
The things that Chef Willie does is obscene. And his staff.
Yeah, because it's not just Chef Willie. Okay, so speaking of which, we need to get Chef Ryan in here. Oh, you could have let him sit there. It doesn't matter.
It's easier to come and go.
That works.
Grant's a very considerate human being. He thinks of these things.
So I'm going to tell you something. He may be one of the most considerate human beings I know.
I would agree with that. Great excuse.
Yeah, long as you're not trying to like squeeze yourself into your own bed, you're good. Hour 2 of Implicit Bias Radio rolls on. So hopefully for those of you who are watching on stream, you are getting to see kind of what we do behind the scenes. And look, this episode has taken a little longer than most episodes because the food is too good. The whiskey's too good. We're having too much fun.
Yeah, but we don't get to eat like this between normal episodes.
Oh, hell no.
You need to work on craft services to get us more catering.
Oh, okay. Look, Renee, I like to think that I'm at least decent. There's no way in hell I'm that good to make this happen on every single episode.
Well, Grant and I are going to start demanding this.
Okay, fair. Well, Caleb's got to get some, but soon as Caleb does. And look, we're going to have plenty when they serve us afterwards. And then we go into the dessert.
Wait, are they serving more of this later?
Yes, sir.
After we finish
I
recording.
always, okay, to be clear, the live stream always ends for me.
Okay, so look,
Like,
John,
hey,
I'm
we're gonna go eat.
I'm actually glad that you brought this out for those who are watching on the live stream, which is this is how I'm trying to think of the actual word here. This is how much Mr. Lester's likes to cater to you, to anyone who comes here. Now, we are fortunate enough that we get to sample. We are going to get to eat when the show is over. And it's everything we've had throughout the course of the show. All right, Caleb. All right. Whenever Ryan's ready, we'd love to have Ryan come sit. Oh, he didn't have to bring the dessert yet, but that's fine. We'll take it.
Do you think wasabi with this would be anything? It's very good. You get the sweetness of the lobster. You get the what? How do you pronounce it? Not cannoli.
Yeah. No, that's not a cannoli.
No, I like
it's a cannelloni.
the cannelloni is it's soft, it's succulent. It goes really well with the lobster. And maybe it's just me, but like if it had like a hard kick, like wasabi or maybe fresh
I love it.
serrano peppers.
I love it.
Like that.
Caleb thinks he's a 5-star chef now.
No, like,
Yes, chef.
he might tell me like Caleb screw off. Like I don't care. Like he
I'm
knows better
kidding.
than I do.
I'm messing with you, brother.
But this is amazing. But I feel like it's on the cusp.
Chef.
There he is.
That is just. You know what? Maybe if I had one more bite, maybe that would. do it.
or 10 more bites.
I can't leave that in the plate.
Look, I'll make the food.
Did real good.
I mean, it's creamy, it's savory. I get. Is that crab meat?
Lobster.
Hey, come on, Caleb. Give us like a whiskey.
It is a lobster and crab cannelloni with
Oh,
saffron
yeah,
cream sauce and sweet pea cream.
Hey, give us a whiskey description of the lobster. It was like born in September. When
No.
there was a grouper swimming by.
Have you ever been to Maine?
This lobster is not a Maine
Yeah.
lobster. This lobster was like hanging out down in Key West.
No,
He's
that
like-
absolutely. So I'm going to tell you definitively without seeing the lobster,
yeah.
it had to be a Maine lobster
You know it was.
because, so look at the
The
claw.
claw.
It has claws. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why I was going to spin a yarn about it being a spiny lobster and going to
I
Duval
almost-
Street.
I did almost have John believing
Yeah.
that lobsters are crawfish that have made their way out of the fresh water of the Mississippi into the salt water. When they hit the warm water, they lose their claws, they molt them, and then when they hit the cold water in Maine, they grow them back
They
because
come
they
back.
hit the Gulf Stream. I almost had it.
It was worth the
This is a
trouble.
Maine lobster that vacationed in Florida.
Yeah.
Yes.
What was
What's that?
That wasn't true. Was that- Oh, man.
All right, 2 segments left.
Look, forgive me. I like spicy.
So in 2 segments, we're going to cover not just the food, but the next segment, we're going to cover our final segment and give away dinner for 2 if you're streaming, we're going to give away dinner for 2 and a hotel room for the night at Mr. Lester Steakhouse at Cypress Bayou Casino. Can't beat that.
3,
Or you could, you just might be put in jail like Ike.
3, 2.
Implicit Bias Radio rolls on. I'm your host, Kevon Bordelon. We've got a great crew here at Mr. Lester Steakhouse at Cypress Bayou Casino. So if you're on the streaming side, you're actually seeing this. If you're watching on our socials, whether it's X, whether it's YouTube, whether it is Facebook, whether you're catching a reel on Instagram, we are here showing you not just how we get to solve the problems of the world, but how blessed we are to do it while consuming some of the most delicious food on the planet. And it is courtesy of, obviously, Chef Willie is the executive chef, but he has a co-executive chef because Chef Willie has a lot on his plate. And Ryan Fitz has been working with Chef Willie for a while. You have done more than one dish for us here, correct, Ryan? Chef Ryan. So first of all, I've got to make sure we do this correctly. Yes, Chef Ryan, who has done a fantastic job. What brought about the inspiration for some of these dishes that we're tasting here tonight as we taste a lobster and crab cannelloni with a sweet pea cream?
Just having fun with food. Get to be creative and no rhyme or reason. Just started going outside the box. And
Okay, so I got to pause you right there.
Yep.
Because you say no rhyme or reason.
Just
No rhyme or reason would bring me to like a hot dog coulis with an asparagus cream and a Twinkie glaze over the top. I mean, that's no rhyme or reason, right?
just having fun with food.
There's rhyme and reason here. There's harmony here. There's oh, this is going to be good. There is music on the taste buds here.
A symphony?
It is a taste bud symphony.
It's a
here.
concerto, and
It is.
Oh my god!
Yes. That's what the. Does this just make sense to you?
Yeah. It's passion, you know. Get to wake up and do what I love doing every day and putting out good food for people and
Okay,
enjoy doing it.
this is way beyond good food. I mean, you know what they say, right? Genius is the ability to go from A to F without having to go through B, C, D. I mean, do you even think about this, or do you go, this is going to work, let's do it?
Sometimes both. Start off with an idea of what have we done before, what haven't we done, what can we do, and then how can we make it better? How can we go outside of the box of, you know, everybody's had a pork tenderloin, everybody's had a cannelloni. You know,
Okay.
start picking flavors, items, pick your proteins, and then what pairs well.
See, when I taste this, like I imagine, like you go to your grandmother's house for Christmas, and she's like, you know what, Ryan, it's on you. I'm sitting down. Like that's what I see, because the way you did this, the way you paired it together, and the flavors that you get, man, 2 generations ago, they just say, you know what, you got this. I'm not worried, because this is delicious.
Thank you.
Very well done.
So, Chef, I'm gonna let you hand the microphone to Grant for a second because I know he wants to chime in. What jumps out to me are the things that I think would not necessarily play flavor wise that do. I mean, Grant, you and I grew up in one of the greatest culinary cities in the world, and Caleb, you actually spent time there as a kid.
Yeah, well, I grew up there as a young child, so
New Orleans is one of those cities. When you grow up there, you're a food snob. You walk out and you go, yeah, I don't care what city you come from. You don't eat as well as we do.
Yeah, we're a tad spoiled in that respect, though, aren't we?
Absolutely.
I mean, you grow up around that, you tend to get used to it a little bit. But the thing is, it's got to be such a process, because we're tasting the end result. But for you to sit in the kitchen and taste as you go along, and to create that process of, you know, it would really be good with this, and to get to the end result, it really is, like you said, it's musical. It's you doing a symphony, note after note, as they combine to get to your end result. Is it really is a process.
This is a concerto. Everything
absolutely.
is perfect in how it plays with everything else. And that's what I really love about it. That's what jumps out to me, Chef, about what you guys do here at Mr. Lester's, which is this. This is a steakhouse. We are having a lobster crab meat cannelloni. Anybody know the origin of the word cannelloni? What nationality it comes from, other than you, Chef?
Middle East. No.
Grant called it. It's a
Look, I tried.
Grant, what is it?
Don't
No,
condemn
well,
me.
at 14, I worked in an Italian restaurant, so yeah, it's definitely Italian.
It is absolutely Italian. So you've got full-on American steakhouse playing with Italian flavors, playing with pork, playing with just different appetizers, playing with French. as we have the influence here in Southern Louisiana, it just doesn't get any better.
So you
Look.
need to taste that, follow it with the weeded.
Okay, so this is where we start getting to Jedi master level, right? If you can pluck the whiskey from my hand, you have become the master, right? This is where we start going, what pairs with what?
Oof.
Right. And that's where Renee jumps in too.
No, he does.
Yeah, but look, I'm doubly spoiled because my wife, sitting behind me, is an absolute fantastic cook. But it's from a different school of thought. She was born in Texas and was raised in Lafayette, so it's a little bit different from what we experienced in New Orleans.
Well, it's different from what we experience anywhere in Southern Louisiana.
Right, absolutely.
But the reality is mastering all of those fine arts, mastering each individual skill. And Chef, this is a question I have for you. How many different skills did you have to master before you got to be the co-executive chef at Mr. Lester Steakhouse? I mean,
I'm still learning.
what do you mean by
That's
that?
the perfect attitude to
Yeah.
have too, though.
So what do you mean by that?
So every day you learn. When you stop learning, that's when it's time to either move on or
Honing your
Mm,
craft
yep.
every single day.
never
Working
never
on it.
be. In my heart, I feel you never are there. Always strive to do more, do better. You know, even though this plate was great, I'm already thinking of how to make it better.
And that's what we love, because what I'm going to tell you is this. I've come across restaurants where they have a dish that is almost perfection on the plate, and instead of them making it more perfect, they take it off.
Oh yeah.
And that's a travesty. Grant,
Caleb, I'm sorry you missed this one, but whose idea was the Chilean sea bass over macaroni and cheese?
oh, that might have been
remember
Chef
that?
Willie's.
Was that
yeah,
Willie? Do you remember that?
that
one?
might have been Willie a few
Oh my goodness.
series ago, but I remember that
You remember that?
because to
See,
that
but
point,
look, to me, it was memorable. I'd never had that before, but when we hit the room after the fact, and there was just a whole tray. I know Walker will remember that one too.
all right, y'all ready to have a little fun with this?
Oh, send it.
So Walker and so Aaron doesn't have a microphone, but Walker does.
I'll speak for Aaron. Don't worry.
Normally
Yeah,
we
that's
pass
fine.
normally we pass plates to them. Are y'all feeling left out because y'all haven't gotten plates passed
As
to you yet?
We
Aaron.
have.
Oh, you have. Oh,
As
Well,
Aaron,
the
I am
other Walker.
distraught and remiss, and
Ugh.
I need more to
Okay.
give you my opinion.
so Walker, who is not Walker, who we have renamed Saunter,
Yes.
has gotten
Saunter
plates.
has
Saunter.
been getting the display plate
Oh,
and bringing it over
okay.
here. That's where we've been splitting it.
Look, this is how you know you want to be here, because Mr. Lester Steakhouse is all that. So if you are out there and you are looking for the best steak in the Acadiana area, 40 minutes is nothing. That's what it takes to get from Lafayette to Mr. Lester's. Make your reservation.
That's if you don't speed.
Correct. That's if you go the speed limit. Make your reservation. If you are looking for a memorable meal in a setting that you cannot replicate anywhere in the state of Louisiana, make your reservation. I'm just telling you.
If you're in Monroe, if you're in Baton Rouge, no matter where you are, this is where you want to be.
If you are
The meals
in New,
y'all do is just phenomenal.
if you are in New Orleans, come south through Thibodeau and come here. John came here from Florida.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go down
John
the bayou.
flew from Florida. Grant,
It really is just a short little trot from New Orleans.
it is.
I mean,
It's like an hour to hour and a half if you
yeah.
go south and come through Thibodeau.
That's
It's
right.
That's
not
the
far.
same as trying to go from the West Bank to the East Bank.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Well, which is actually, if you go to from the East Bank to the West Bank, which is actually the East Bank, because if you look at
Yeah.
it, it's messed up.
Yeah.
It's
Anyway,
horrible.
Renee, you actually came over because you wanted to hijack the microphone for a second.
Yeah, the southbound exit is open now.
Yeah, oh,
so
yeah, it
you
is.
don't have to make the detours.
If you're coming from Lafayette, it absolutely is. This is how you know you've found that special place. And if you really want to eat in a way that is okay, you know me, I can't help but shy right into this. Like, I'm going to lean into the fact that there are people in Washington, D.C. who have $1 million homes who are like, oh, we got to sell it because taxpayer funds have dried up. If you want to eat like the people who get with the news media, and they stand there and they talk bad about each other because they're talking to their respective stations, and then 20 minutes later they're spending $5,000 on dinner because some lobbyist is paying for it and buying both of them. If you want to eat like them, this is where you come.
I beg to disagree because they don't eat this well.
They don't. You know what else they don't do? They don't come back for the final segment of this week's episode of Implicit Bias Radio. When we wrap it all up, we're going to have a lot of fun. We got a fun segment. We got more weekly whiskey. We've got more problems of the world that are just going to go away. They're going to melt away on this week's episode of Implicit Bias.
Nicely done, brother.
Chef, thank you.
Very well done,
Absolutely.
Jeff. Very well done.
Absolutely.
The modesty on this guy. I don't know how it happens. It's just like,
I'm just
walk in
playing
and
around.
just-
I'm just playing around with food.
yeah, you know.
You're not
Yep.
cooking fucking hot dogs, right?
He's like, my wife
I mean,
chokes
come
me
on.
out until I'm about to pass out and says, "What do you want to cook for me now?"
Tomorrow.
So
But
if
they
you're on
open
the
like
streaming
at
side,
5, and he's got
he's
The
gone
medley is just phenomenal.
at 5 p.m.
My flight's not until 9:30. I can get that.
John, no.
He's gonna pick up
No.
gumbo to go.
Don't do
That's
that.
what I told him. I said, dude, next time, let us know in advance.
Yeah, I said it. I know.
We'll cook you a gumbo.
Oh, I said it. I know.
Oh,
Oh, I dropped an F-bomb. It's all right.
Hey, you got to give it to Walker and Aaron, though. They've been sneaking behind this chair all night, grabbing the display food.
Oh, look, that's
Good for them.
impressive.
Kudos.
Yeah, well,
Nicely done, fellas.
I didn't drop it. I didn't drop it on the
Unfortunately, they
radio
need
side.
more
I
to
waited
give
till
you
we
an
were
opinion.
streaming. Guys, look, I know what I'm doing.
Renee's like, get my flight back here.
No. I dropped an F-bomb on the streaming side on purpose. Y'all missed it.
no, it's.
They caught it. They're like, ooh.
I'll live.
Whoopsie.
Yep.
You didn't wave your hand, so
And
I
then
try.
drop
I'm
it.
like, right now.
Kill-
I do. I try.
What the?
I put in effort.
Yeah, but we know to watch you, Caleb.
Yeah,
We
like
know when your hand goes up.
I
it's
I
coming.
put in effort. You know,
Y'all, look, here's what I'm going to say. There are very few places in Acadiana that almost hold a spiritual nexus like this
Ooh,
place
That
does.
is a great way to describe it.
It is.
Like it is.
It's that place.
It's a
It just
momentous
is.
experience.
It's
Like,
my
it is
second
something.
home. I mean, I come to the cigar lounge and I can smoke a cigar. I can get good whiskeys. I know the staff is going to take care of me and they're going to feed me
Here's the
Like-
beauty of it.
better than I can cook at home.
It's
Well,
your second home
yeah.
just as much as it's my second home, but it's still different. And that's what makes it beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, and forgive me for this. Like we were fortunate enough. I didn't have a reservation, and we came here for Valentine's Day because of God's grace, right?
John.
So we came here for Valentine's Day, and we had a Valentine's Day meal. And it was the first time I've been here outside.
Oh,
of
she gonna stick a
this.
fork in your eye. I'm just warning you.
And I mean, one for what we paid for our meal
Oh my God.
was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like,
Look, I brought my wife here for our anniversary in December. I
71 years.
Yeah, 71 years. I called and it was kind of a last minute. Chef Willie had told me that around Christmas they get booked
They get
up.
booked. Yeah.
And our anniversry was the 16th. We came a
Good
couple
job
of days.
remembering that.
Yeah. We came a couple of days before because my wife works all week long and at night, so we had to come during the weekend. So we came out on a Saturday night, and I called Chef Willie and I said, "Hey, you might not, but do you have an opening?" He goes, "Yes, I do." And I brought my
right.
wife here, and we booked a room at the hotel because after you eat Chef Willie's food,
You need.
you
need it,
need
yeah.
a nap.
It's not a
And-
nap that I need after Chef Willie's food, but that's all right. When I get to your age, it might be a nap.
Yeah, it's a nap. But I mean, it was just a great experience. And of course, my wife's been here a couple of times when we've done the recordings and stuff. And, they know her as the strawberry daiquiri woman. So, and it's
She is.
and it's amazing that the people waiting on us, they recognize her as, you want your strawberry daiquiri? And she's
They
like,
knew immediately.
oh,
Yep.
yeah, they know. They remember. They
what I-
take care of you.
What I will say is this is the service on Valentine's Day night was so on point.
Mm.
It wasn't even funny. All right. Y'all ready to wrap up this episode? Let's get this done. And Grant, you got something real quick? Yeah, his mic's not
My
on.
bad.
We need to make Walker dress up for every episode, even in
Agreed.
PSPL.
Hit
Walker looks
ev-
sharp. dude.
every single episode needs to be. So
If
That
you
dude
remind
looks
me, I'll wear my suit every episode.
I also want to throw this out there.
Hey,
Thank you to
Looking
Miller's
good, bro.
Formals who made this happen, because all of the tuxedos, the fact that Walker
Oh,
looks actually
absolutely.
presentable instead of looking like a hobo who might have found his way from the bus station somewhere along Jefferson Street down to about Jefferson to try and harass you for money and claim that he's looking for something. It's Miller's Formals who made us look this good.
Do you
We're
want me to
athletic.
contradict him? I mean, if you want me to contradict him, like step up your game.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I ain't wrong.
hey, you
Yeah,
look
but I
looking
mean,
sharp,
I'm on
brother.
the radio, so I don't have to
Look.
dress up. No one
No.
sees me
Look,
except for
look,
my dad.
wait, yeah,
I
but
saw-
and one
I
other
haven't
dude.
seen you at Red. I haven't seen you at Reds lately. But
I had the flu.
I saw an
I
ad
was
the other
there
day.
this
All
week.
right.
I
Oh,
had
were
it.
you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Walker, I
Alright.
saw an ad
You
the
look
other day
sharp,
for like
bro.
croissants.
Okay,
I
John
saw
had
an
the
ad for
dessert.
croissants. They were
John
like
had the dessert,
Crocs
which
with
we're gonna
things in
pass
them, and I was
around.
like, oh, Walker has those.
I wear
Okay.
one pair of slides one time.
One pair
Caleb,
of socks,
where's
two
your
times.
Pimp Daddy
Once.
jacket, man? That Miller's
my-
provide.
My jacket's
Come on.
behind you.
You know.
Well, now so they see the finished product and the mid product.
Yeah.
To be clear, if you only go off of what you've seen and observed, I have only ever seen Walker in a tux.
Thank you.
There you go.
God, thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Well, maybe if they're lucky, the next time he's in a tux, it's on his wedding day.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Well, he's
Hey,
on camera.
Wait,
at the-
wait, wait.
Hey,
She's
hold
close
Hold
to
on, hold on.
graduating.
Might be.
There's a song. Hey, Kennedy.
Yeah, but he's on.
that we need
He's
to-
on camera now in the TSPL North.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, so now
But
he
I
has
was
to
only
wear a
on
tux so they
once.
can see him.
Only on once. Oh,
Maybe
we'll
I'll
get him
show
again.
up in some
Hey,
a suit or something.
Hey, put
next
it this
time.
way: he'll come see me before any of y'all know that.
This is true.
Yeah, that is true.
But I will not.
I look
divulge.
forward to that day. I
You
look
hope so.
forward
I
to
will
that
not
day.
All right,
divulge.
let's wrap up this episode. Let's jump into the last segment and let's actually talk about kind of the last part about this, which is for those of you who are out there. Number one, we're going to get a name from the ladies at the bar who are going to tell us who won the $500 gift certificate here at Mr. Lester's and a hotel stay. We're going to get that from them so we can announce that on this segment. We are also going to announce why you don't hate the media enough.
Side note, John just ate an entire king cake.
In one bite.
Hey,
He walked up. He's like, no one noticed.
our
like
family
Magilla
members,
Gorilla.
Are family members ineligible for this contest? Because my daughter entered like 62 times while we were sitting here.
Well, it depends. We have an answer. They're gonna. It's gonna
yeah.
get texted to me. So there's a name texted to me. Is that what it is?
Elizabeth can come and tell you, whisper in his ear.
Oh, she's not gonna do that. I love my wife.
She
but that's
will.
just
She
not what
will
do.
whisper sweet nothings in your ear.
Oh, I do
like-
not have a text from you, Elizabeth Webster Bordelon.
She should come and talk to you. Like, yeah, there you go. Look, she's gonna whisper sweet nothings, and yes, my love.
I can't hear anything because
Do you want to read what it is?
I love you
send,
too.
send a screenshot of it. To
I don't
me.
know what you're saying, but I
I didn't
love
get
you
a
too.
screenshot from you.
Your ass looks great in those pants.
Can you do that with your tongue one more time?
This is what I have. This is what I have from you.
I promise I'm paying attention. This is
You need to log
I
into.
did send it to you.
21
not
years of
delivered.
marriage.
You need to log into the Wi-Fi.
Can you just take my phone and read it?
I'll take your
Dude.
phone and read it.
Caleb, I'm concerned. At 42 years of marriage, what is it going to be like?
I look forward to that.
Yeah.
Renee, it's gonna look like lots of blue pills.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Hey,
He's
at
gonna
that-
see. He's gonna see purple.
At that
Oh,
point
wait,
in my
I
life,
see purple now.
Jackie's blushing over
Yeah,
there. Love it.
I see.
All right.
I see purple now.
All right, let's go ahead and dive in. Final segment this week's episode of Implicit Bias.
3, 2.
The meaning of life on Implicit Bias Radio comes from Lane Conk. Meaning of life: to live a life that people find it hard to talk bad about you, to have true friends who talk much crap about you to your face, but will defend you against everyone behind your back, to leave people feeling good about themselves. Lane Conk, congratulations. Drop the mic.
Wow.
And we will set this up. You have won dinner for two, up to $500 at Mr. Lester's. By the way, just tip your server, please. It's the only thing you need to do. And a hotel stay. Congratulations, Lane Conk. well done by the ladies as well. I was hoping for something funny. I was hoping for
Conks.
something almost foul. No,
Like the shell.
Yeah. What nationality is conch? Is it traditional spelling CONCH?
No.
no, CONQUES.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So French,
Oh,
conch.
it's French.
It's French. You English pig dog. I fart in your general direction.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Yeah.
the reference, right?
It's common. That's a semi-common name around Lafayette.
Oh, it's very common around Lafayette. So Lane,
Yeah.
And such a wordsmith.
Yeah.
Like, that's impressive.
yes, we actually appreciate that. We love that. And Lane, congratulations. So we're going to put that in. We will communicate with you via Facebook Messenger. We're going to send you a message, let you know when you can pick up your certificate. You'll have 30 days to redeem. Congratulations on what you have won, because you've won something special.
You're gonna send them a certification code or
Nope.
something?
Nope.
A
I'm gonna,
handshake.
I am going to give him the ultra top secret double probation password
Oh my God!
to pick up his certificate and his hotel stay. Okay. So how do I know you don't hate the media enough? Now, I want to make sure I get this right. So I'm actually going to slide this over, and I want to make sure that I look at this and I get the exact terminology, the absolute exact terminology that the Department of Defense
Oh,
has paid Reuters to engage
Oh.
in. Now, look, we've got a reel out on Instagram that's
This is
doing
painful.
relatively well.
relatively.
Well, it talks about the media being bought. And while it's not the top one that we have, which has over 280,000 views, about how politicians have basically funneled money back to themselves, this one outlines that the media is all bought and paid for. But it doesn't give specifics. So I'm going to give the specifics. Reuters. Anybody know where Reuters is based? What continent? I'm not even going to ask what country. What continent is Reuters based in?
I would think Europe.
It is based in Europe.
Mhm.
Europe. Which means it's not of American origin. Americans don't own it.
Mm.
Europeans own it. But Reuters spreads, and I'm going to use this term very loosely, information all around the world. Reuters, and this comes out via the Department of Governmental Efficiency. Please go look this up. You'll find that we're not lying to you. You'll find that we are telling you the truth, but we don't want you to believe us. We want you to believe yourself. According to the Department of Governmental Efficiency, Reuters has been paid a significant amount of money. Millions. More than that, Caleb?
Well, when you think of millions, you're like 1, 2, no, they're close to 10. And when we look at media, right? So like the Army Times, the Marine Corps Times, Navy Times, Air Force Times, these are government run and controlled media outlets.
Well, let's take a step back. When you consider what the media is supposed to do, what is the media supposed to do as far as we're concerned? Renee,
Non-partisan.
Well, and I mean, they're supposed to release information.
to tell you the truth.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's stop right there.
Information is the thing.
Let's stop right. No, information that's the truth.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not
Okay,
supposed to
yeah.
lie to you.
Right.
It's supposed to be
Right.
nonpartisan, truth-based
The-
information.
The
Yes.
Department of Defense paid Reuters over $9 million between 2018 and 2022. Anybody remember what happened between 2018 and 2022? Transition of
COVID.
president. Oh,
COVID.
Yep.
And they paid them specifically. This is in the description for the payment, for large scale social deception. Ring the damn bell. In
and I-
other words, they paid Reuters to lie to you.
Our government pays for psychological warfare.
Now,
Every continent, every country.
now,
what
when
we
did
do.
COVID officially?
2019, 2020.
Okay, so they started in 2018.
Correct.
So they knew something before it hit us.
Ring
The
the bell
government knows
again.
everything before we know it.
In other words, if you think you weren't set up, if you think you were told the truth from the beginning, if you think that your political overlords care about us, grab a couple bottles, engage in a lot of weekly whiskeys in a day, and realize, and a cigar, to Renee's point, and realize we're just a pawn. Grant, you wanted to chime in on this. I saw you grab the microphone.
No, what you just said was actually at the bottom of that receipt. It's actually printed on the receipt. from
That's what I
2018.
said.
Yeah, that it was a large scale government deception
It's literally
on the receipt.
on the governmental
Scary.
payment disbursement. When they wrote out, what are we paying for? Our government said we are paying Reuters for large scale social deception.
We've paid many other people for much less and much more things.
And we've
right?
probably paid them a lot more money to do it.
And I remember at one brief period in time, whenever the Army Times, which is the Army's news media outlet, right, came to our FOB where we were at, the Forward Operating Base, and my team was assigned to escort them around. We could escort them, we could protect them, we could defend them, we couldn't talk to them.
Well,
And if you think your government has your best interest at heart, their best interest is always at heart.
there's a comedian who's funny who says, you don't believe any conspiracy theories? Really? You believe our government is batting 1,000? They tell you the truth on everything? And he says, I've got one son. I'm in charge of one person, not 300 million. And I lie to him all the time, right? If you think our government is telling us the truth, number one, what comes from the government probably isn't. Number two, our government is paying for other people to not tell us the truth. Grant?
Daniel Ellsberg, the Pentagon Papers, the Vietnam War, when Caleb said something that made me think about it. There was a big deception that the Vietnam War was going just according to plan.
It
Well,
was
okay,
going
well,
along
but
swimmingly.
look,
Well, let's
but
let's
boots on the
back up.
ground, actually, when they actually visited, Ellsberg was the one that finally exposed in the
Let's-
papers.
Let's back up. There's the whole Gulf of Tonkin incident, which our government has admitted
Oh,
didn't happen,
absolutely.
which is what they
Absolutely.
utilized to get us
Damn,
into
that's
the
out of
war.
left field. Good
Right?
job.
The Gulf of Tonkin was made up by our government, given to our press to convince American citizens that we needed to go to war in Vietnam.
You see a pattern developing here?
Yeah, shocker. Look, I told you we were going to talk about chaos. I didn't get to pull my note out, but the reality is, and this, please look at the book Chaos. We've got 1 minute. I'm going to wrap this up really quickly. In the book Chaos, it is documented in the 1960s, the CIA had over 260 members of the press on their payroll to tell you what they wanted to know. Please don't believe me. Please log this in your implicit bias. Please come to Mr. Lester's, get a great meal. Please come here, get $5 pours of all the Heaven Hill, get $10 to $12 pours of all the great stuff they've got. Come here and enjoy your implicit bias. We'll see you in 7. Have a great one. De mucho gusto. We didn't even get to talk about the damn dessert. Okay, so hold on. Let's keep streaming real quick just so we can cut this. So we have a dessert, and I want to put this out as a reel.
The only one that's eaten it so far is John, and he slammed the whole one.
Yeah.
John looked at it and said,
We can pot up some microphones real quick. We're going to keep streaming this, Walker, if you don't mind.
"Oh, Mike's work?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, yeah, look.
There we go.
And you know
Grant,
what?
You could just bite it. Like,
I was correct. The 30th sun-grown goes great with the flight because I'm smoking the 30th sun-grown right now. And, Caleb's
So-
looking at me like,
no,
Okay.
you're right. You're right. I came here for Valentine's Day, and I had a Padroma 30 Maduro
Absolutely.
that I got from you,
yo, the Maduro.
and it was
And they have that here.
Okay,
they have
so
the
real quick-
Maduro Churchill here.
Real quick,
it
we're going to
went
do this
so
as
well.
a reel. This is going to be a quick segment. So for those who want to see how this works, this is how it works. All right. So we are at Mr. Lester Steakhouse, and this is the dessert course. We have a king cake meal frulet, which is what we're going to have here on the show. John Mode of the Dania Beach Bourbon Club has inhaled an entire plate of this already. This is why we didn't get to do it live on the show. Well, we're doing it live on the show now, but this is why we didn't get to do it on the radio show.
But he doesn't get fresh king cake in Florida.
No, he
That's
doesn't.
why.
So we got to give him. So Grant, I'm told that you cut a piece for me. I need a piece. We're going to pass this around because we've got to taste this. So for those who know, I'm not a little bit, I'm a lot of a king cake snob.
Oh yeah, big time.
Oh,
Oh,
you
I'm-
grabbing the smallest piece?
Yeah.
well, yeah, because he's a
we're gonna-
snob.
That way it
eat.
looks big in your hands, right?
Yeah,
we're going to eat again. Hey, my shoe size is the same as yours. I'm just saying.
yeah.
All right.
Now, Kavan, growing up again in New Orleans, my aunt and uncle used to own a tasty donut shop in New
Oh,
Orleans.
hell.
Oh.
So you had, just like Lafayette, you had different variations
Mhm.
of the king cake.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So you get to try a lot of them. So please listen to Kavan. He has a very
Okay.
informed opinion on stuff like this.
This is the most authentic king cake flavor in the most different
my God.
texture I have ever experienced. This tastes like an original Mackenzie's brioche king cake, but the texture is so different and so unique. It is absolutely king cake in its best form that you never knew you wanted.
It's wafer
That's what this is.
like wafer like.
Es wafer thin. Yes, yes, it is.
Multiple wafers,
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
but I can't believe you like this because it's got like filling in it.
Mm-mm.
That's not.
I don't
Because
even know what
you're-
that is. That's
No,
icing.
that's-
That's not
Yeah,
filling. That's icing.
Well, yeah, because
That's
you're
angel
you're
wings.
such a snob.
Mhm.
We can't have king cake with fillings, but there's stuff between the layers.
Here's why. Because
That's-
Renee,
no.
unlike you, it's not fruity. You
That's-
set yourself up for that one. I'm kidding.
I'm
You're not
fruity.
fruity. No.
Mm.
But there's no fruit. There's no Danish.
No.
There's none of that garbage in it. It is just so incredibly king cake delicious.
It's crunchy
That's what it is.
and
Here,
layers.
You don't
and-
get the baby, but here's a crown.
Yet, no, you can take that crown and stick it. Anyway,
yeah.
because I don't know where your
Mm.
hand's been.
Mm.
That,
That's
Mm.
oh my goodness,
Mm.
that is
Mm.
off the charts delicious. John's rolling in it like, and I don't mean like rolling in it like eating it. I mean like he's laying it on the floor and rolling around in it.
Yeah.
No, he
Yeah.
just took that whole.
He's like a
king
dog
cake
in
and
heat
went
right now.
Whoa.
Fantastic. Okay, so we're gonna sign off the live stream. We actually, funny, we started right at 30 minutes later than we normally do. We ended right about 5 minutes when we would have ended
Oh,
within
really?
5 minutes of
Oh.
the normal time. So it's about the same amount of time that it would normally take us to actually record an episode. So for those who are watching, this is what we do.
we go long and
Yeah,
short.
but does that mean we can go 25 more minutes?
No, nope. You know what that means? That means that
No,
we are,
because you want to go eat.
and so do you.
Yeah.
Don't
but
lie.
Yeah.
And I want to have a cigar after I eat.
Yeah.
But that's what this means, which is thank you for joining us on our live stream. We appreciate you being here. We're no different than you are. Literally, we are normal people who don't like to wear ties. I hate wearing this bow tie, but it's the right look for the occasion. And sometimes you got to just look right for where you are. This is that place. It's a special look, a special occasion. And when I tell you that we cannot begin to thank Cypress Bayou Casino, Mr. Lester's, we can't begin to thank Walker Griffon, who puts up with us picking on him as our implicit bias pledge. We can't begin to thank Aaron David, who makes all the visuals happen here. And when I tell you yeoman's work, I mean every second and every word of it. When I tell you Walker, who is not Walker, so we have renamed him Saunter because Matthew couldn't be here. We appreciate everything they do. And we appreciate everything you do. We're going to start giving away some bottles. So stay tuned. Find us on our socials. We're going to start giving away bottles of whiskey on Implicit Bias Radio. That's coming. Don't miss it. We look forward to seeing you when we come back in 7 or 17 or whenever we're back on video. But we hope you have a great one, and we'll see you in 7.
God bless.
Have a great night. Yes, God bless.